So I can't do the show open. Want to do it live?
No.
I will.
Well, what do you mean you can't do the show open?
Well, I brought up the, what do you call it, the audio vault, and it's like the show open just played and it's gone. I'd have to go find it.
Well, what do you mean it played and it's gone?
That's what it's looking like, but I don't even know what it's called. So, hey.
Well, screw it is what I say.
It's the Neil Rogers Show, and don't call.
Yeah, okay.
Any calls.
Don't call us. We'll
email
call
us at neil@neilrogers.com.
Right.
MONDAYSUCKS. This portion of the show brought to you by Britney Spears vajayjay. It's hanging out, y'all.
It's 10:01 at 560 WQAM. See, I played a real short bit. I love that one. I don't know why.
Because it says vajayjay.
It's amusing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, amuse rhymes with abuse, and let me just make a little bit of announcement here.
Do I amuse yous?
No, seriously, what I told you this morning is the truth, and that is we do not show up here every day to be abused by idiots, okay? That's not the purpose of the show, is to take abuse. Right. I know that comes as a great shock to a lot of idiots. Oh, we sure busted his balls. Yeah. We sure screwed up the show. Well, no, we don't come here to take abuse every day.
That's management's job.
And there's a certain number of people out there who think that that's why we're here, is to take abuse from them on the emails, on the phone calls. And speaking of the phone calls, Ricky Ticky Shaw, of all people, on the MySpace, and he's one of the very few who's using that anymore, I guess, at least with me. He sent me an email that it's from the real Rick Shaw because it's on the MySpace page, which I will read in a couple minutes, and it just frost my fat ass. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion. Right?
Yeah.
I don't care about his opinion, about the calls and the caller. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the show to please people who want to abuse it. There's no point in it. And these people are trying to pretend that there's some redeeming value of my taking calls. There's not. There absolutely is not. I've stopped, I've started, I've stopped, I've started, I've shut it off, I've opened it up. And it's crap. I'm your friend. And then this radio station doesn't give a crap about it. They think it's, I don't know what the hell they think. They just don't care. They do not care.
They don't think.
Well, we don't have the ability to, you don't have the ability to do anything. And so within the parameters of what we've got to work with, I'm doing the best I can. When George is on, there's your calls. He loves it.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't abuse him as much as they want to abuse me. They like George a lot better.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they like you more, that's why.
No, they do not.
Those people.
No, those people don't like me. Those people just want to destroy the show, that's all.
This is how they express their love.
For example, speaking of abuse, here's one that came in on, let's see. Well, this is from a week ago. Wow. At least it's dated a week ago. I'm sure it's not. That's not the right date. Neil, we obviously do not see you eating. We hear you eating. And it is the incessant lip-smacking tongue noises that are annoying. It's kind of gross. How often do I eat on the air, especially now that I'm here? Maybe 2-3 times a year? I'll nuke a weenie or something in there. Very, very, very rarely. And yet this is from Kevin, whoever Kevin is. Would you like to just sit there and hear other people eat? Do what you want, but it's like fingernails on the blackboard. Well, you got the first part of that is right. Do what you want, and I will. How do you like that?
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking is right. Do what you want, but it's like, talk about making an issue out of nothing. That I eat a couple of weenies on the air a couple times a year. And the fact that George eats on the air when the food comes in on Thursday, that's part of the show.
Sure. That drives them nuts.
That's part of the promotion, is that George eats on the air and smack. What's the big deal with that?
Oh, please. It's because they don't have any material. This is it. That's all we're going to get.
Dow's up 211 points. Yeah, it's all we're going to get today, I'll tell you that. Over the weekend and today, slim and grim. I'm looking on there right now. There was a long puff piece about Paul and old Ron, which, if anybody thinks I'm reading that, you're dreaming. You're a crazy person. Puff piece about Castronova and Ron Brewer. Now, that's another thing. Do they think that this show is here just for the purpose of promoting other shows in the market? Is that what we're all here for?
That too. Take abuse, promote other shows. Take abuse
and promote the other shows. Jesus, God almighty. And today is the day that they're going to slip the Mickey to the people. And you know something? I've decided I don't care. I don't live in Dade County. I don't own any property in Dade County. And you people in Dade County, good luck to you. You get what you deserve. You elect these crooks over and over again, and then they keep, slipping the Mickey to you. First it was the Mickey Arena, which we needed like a hole in the head. See, we had each egomaniac had to have his own arena. Wayne had to have his arena in Broward, and Mickey had to have his arena in Dade. The fact that you got two teams that play in an indoor arena, like the Maple Leafs and the Raptors, for example, couldn't play in the same arena, could they?
No.
I'm not sure about some of the other ones, like the Bruins and the Celtics. I don't know where the Celtics play. I'm sure it must be in the same arena. A lot of major markets that have basketball and hockey teams, they play in the same arena. Oh, no, we couldn't have that. We got to have our own arena for the Heat. Hoops and heat and hoops and hoops. Right. Because there's such fantastic interest in it. Not. Boy, it'll be another 100 years before the NCAA plays any basketball games in Miami, I'll guarantee you that. Boy, you talk about crowds. Woo! There's no interest in college basketball in South Florida. I mean, betting on the NCAAs, everybody's got their card, everybody's, I got my brackets filled out. What a racket, the brackets. And George didn't get in on it this year.
No, I got shut out.
Dow was up 221 points. What's that all about? Are we making a big comeback or what? Or is it just an aberration?
I'm holding my breath.
Okay, here's the real Rick Shaw on MySpace. Subject, happy birthday. First of all, I don't know what that means, happy birthday. Did he mean happy anniversary, too? Did he also get suckered in by that idea that, because it says on MySpace, the show's birthday is March 1st?
Must have.
I don't know. You're confused, Rick. I think senility has finally set in. Too many long talk-ups. Hey, Neil and George, greetings to you both. It's been a while. Retirement is a wonderful thing. I've continued to be a faithful listener and offer my 2 cents on the caller issue. I didn't know there was an issue anymore. When's the last time I took a call on the show? How many 100 years ago?
I don't know.
Long time ago. Am I planning on taking any today? No. Anyway, Ricky says, I must admit that there's something missing when you shut off the calls entirely. There's something missing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, aggravation and stress. That's the only thing that's missing. As inane as many of them are, the chemistry between you and the idiots is quite often hysterical. No, it's not. There's no chemistry between, I'm your friend, or George is gay, and hanging up the phone. There's nothing to say there. It's something that doesn't translate through emails and MySpace and now Twitters. I think people have become so enthralled with computers and the web, they spend twice as much time or more than it would take to pick up the phone and talk to each other. There's something to be said for actually talking to somebody instead of just reading what they think they think. If they're super articulate, they've got an edge. They can express themselves in writing. If not, something important can get lost in the translation, and that puts them at a big disadvantage. If they're super articulate like the callers. I'm your friend. Hi, Ron. How about we meet now? Here's the interesting part of what he says, as though I'm asking him to consult programming on the show. How about we meet halfway and do a few calls with a few emails? No, I'm not meeting halfway. I didn't ask you for a critique or ask you to program the show, Rick, with all due respect. As we both know, radio is an art form requiring constant tweaking and adjustment. That's right, and that's why I'm still on the air here 33 years later. Because I tweak and I adjust. I adjust and I tweak. I listen to some of my old air checks from the 60s on QAM and say, how the hell did that pull a 54 share? That was then, this is now. What worked in those days is almost hysterical today. I suppose that's progress. At any rate, I continue to enjoy you, and as a fill-in, George is better than most people doing this every day. My best to you both, and next time you're in town for weekend, dinner's on me. You pick the place, the real Rick Shaw. How about we meet halfway? Well, what does that mean?
In like Boston or maybe Virginia?
No, seriously, what does that mean, we meet halfway? Like I'm negotiating with him to...
Haggle.
I'm negotiating with Rick Shaw to program the show. I don't want to. I'm not saying I'll never take calls again, but pretty unlikely. And if we run out of emails any day, and believe me, there's some days when I really have my doubts, like today. But if we do, I'll spin some wax like George. I'll play some marginal group that nobody ever heard of.
There you go.
Or I'll just play the same bit.
This portion of the show brought to you by Britney Spears, the JJ. It's hanging out, y'all.
Over and over again, the whole 4 hours. And still be more entertaining than, I'm your friend. You know, it's interesting. He's making a great argument against his own argument. He's saying that, you know, as time goes on, we have to change, we have to fine-tune, we have to... that's right. And over the years, that's one of the reasons I've survived this long, is that I've had enough common sense to realize when some things are finished, some things are done. Like back when I Schmidt-canned the guests. Oh, God, those boring guests. Same ponderous, monotone, boring people saying the same boring, monotone crap. It got really ponderous. And the same with the calls. The calls are finished. I told you a long time ago the calls are finished. Mm-hmm. Didn't I tell you that?
Yes, you did.
Just like sports talk radio. It's basically, in spite of the fact that this market has got like a sickness with sports talk, it's done. It's been done for a while now. When you take the two major stations, us and the idiots across the street, and the only sports show, alleged sports show that's getting a number, is the bastard who doesn't do a sports show. Talk about the same boring, ponderous Drew Rosenhaus and Ira Windbag and Alex Marvez. These people could put a Mexican jumping bean to sleep. Oh, my God. Give me a breath. That's just my opinion. I mean, what do I know? You know, I don't know much. I don't know nothing about this business. We got experts like Rick Shaw and Charlie Joe Bell. Maybe they're the same person. Oh, sorry, Rick. That was a shot. Maybe they got the same fat ass. I don't know. I didn't check when Rick came by Gulfstream last summer whether he had, you know, a big fat ass. I didn't check. He's a great guy, and we appreciate his coming by. But I'm not soliciting programming advice from him or from anybody else. I mean, feel free to go ahead and send it. It kills some time to read that stuff, you know. Let's meet halfway, and you do this, and I'll do that, and you know, everybody will be happy, yeah. It's shocking is what it is, really shocking, especially coming from him. Now, maybe you can tell me after the break. You can tell me what the redeeming value is of those calls that I get.
Okay.
Think about it.
All right.
Put on your stinking cap.
Okay.
Come up with some real contrived crap.
Okay. You got it.
10:13 at 560 WQAM.
Yeah. M-O-N-D-A-Y-S-U-C-K-S. Oh, man, I sure am bumming. They took my job away. Never saw that layoff coming to me, so I need a job today. I think I'd even do some floor scrubbing, flip burgers, make a bed, shut a shoe, I need the bread, but the reality is the market's tight. This fine, I ain't found no job yet. Baby, I ain't found no job yet. Just need a basic old paycheck. Baby, I ain't found no job yet.
Oh, boy. 10:18 at 560 WQM. And then if this isn't bad enough to get Rick Shaw giving me programming advice, George, during the break, sends me a text message. Did we miss a live spot during that first break?
Well, I must have blinked.
I did the Gulfstream spot about the Florida Derby on Saturday and about yada, yada, yada. What?
I said, okay.
What were you doing when I was doing that spot?
I was right
you
here.
were thinking an answer to my question about the redeeming value of those callers.
That's what I was doing.
And what's the answer?
Well, first of all, if you're going to argue with things that I never said, you know.
Go ahead.
Because I never said that you should go back to taking calls. You never
you just said you hate the emails.
You never. No. I didn't say I hated the emails. I said a crank is a crank and a chronic is a chronic, whether they're calling or whether they're writing. And when I hear you reading an email from a chronic crank, I might as well hear them reading their own material or you. Well, to me, it's all the same. A crank is a crank and a chronic is a chronic. And I wouldn't humor them on the phone, and I wouldn't humor them on
I got news for you. If I didn't read the chronics on the emails, we wouldn't have enough material to do 2 hours.
That's a sad commentary.
Well, it is. That's the truth, like this morning. Neil at neilrogers.com. We even have the link to the thing right on our website, and there's nothing right now. I mean, I got a couple in my pile, not too many, and there's nothing on there right now, just a whole bunch of poll suggestions from days and days ago. And that's it. There is nothing new.
You know, for
nothing
years.
in regard to Ricky Shaw and that thing I read. Nothing in regard to anything. Nothing in regard to the fact that the Dade County Commission is going to approve that stadium this afternoon and that the people in Dade County are going to get the shaft again. Nobody cares about that. And I'm not going to get excited about it anymore. Dade County, in my mind, is, it's a lost proposition.
Meanwhile,
you got a bunch of people that sit around, a bunch of crooks who sit around. They decide what's going to happen and where the tax dollars are going to go and what's bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop. And that's it. That's the way it works. Just like at the airport, everything is crooked, everything is corrupt, and that's the way it's always been, and that's the way it always will be. And I can sit here and scream, I'm going to change the world.
Great. Now you're cutting out. And now you're gone.
Fans. Oh! Okay, so I'm still waiting for you to tell me about the value of the callers when I do the show.
I never said that you should take calls.
Yeah.
I never said that.
Well, you said you would think about it and explain it to me.
Yeah, well, the difference is, see, when I started...
I'm not asking you between the difference between the calls and the emails. I'm asking you the redeeming value of the callers when I do the show. The redeeming value of you taking calls as opposed to emails. When you take a call, you know exactly which mouth-breathing idiot it is, and you hang up on them. When I started doing the show with you years ago, I didn't understand why you wouldn't take calls from these chronics, the guy with the eyes and the fanny pack guy and Gilbert and all these people that you would just hang up on when you would first hear their voice. I didn't understand why. They called all the time. They would fill the 4 hours each. Any one of them would fill the 4 hours with their chatter if you let them, and I didn't understand why you hung up on them, and I didn't understand why you would say things like chronics are the death knell of a radio show. I would come to understand that, and you're absolutely right. Because they're idiots, and they don't have anything to say. Ass-sucking or talking about some other radio show or something like that, that's all they've got. That's all they've got. So, of course, I understood immediately why, after a while, you wouldn't take calls from these people. But now you're reading the emails from these very same people. How do you know they're from the same people?
Because they're saying the same crap. Because they're saying the same crap. Because they're saying the same crap that you would hang up on, and you would say, I'm not interested in that, and you would hang up on them. Obviously, it's the same people.
Obviously?
We got a whole new audience because you're starting to read email now, so now we have a whole new audience and a whole new bunch of people participating because you're reading email instead of taking calls. You think that there's a different crowd of people out there because you're reading email?
No, I don't think there's a different crowd. I think that there are different chronics.
No, they're the same chronics. They're the same cranks writing the same crap that you wouldn't listen to on the air when it was.
Well, you know something? Talking. Let me tell you this.
All right.
At the end of each day, when 2 o'clock comes, I have a feeling in my brain, in my bowels, in my body about whether the show was good, bad, indifferent, whether I enjoyed it, whether it was what I wanted the show to be. And since I've gone to the emails, I'm much, much happier about the way the show has gone. Great. And much happier about the January trend, by the way, which was through the roof. Yeah. Now that I got Schmidt Candy's callers once and for all. And when a guy like Rick Shaw starts telling me, the same old crap that Joe Bell talks about. Oh, the interaction between you and the callers is really special. There is no interaction between somebody that you're hanging up on 100 times a day. That's not interaction.
Right. I couldn't agree more.
I mean, once upon a time, I understand that. When we had living and breathing people calling.
Right.
Most of them still idiots, but at least there was some way to interact.
When you're talking about something specific, something that they can respond to, those people will be there, but then so will the other people.
I got one for the poll. I got one for the poll.
The whole building is boring. There's no
question.
And
how many of those do I delete on the emails that never make it to the air, by the way? A zillion of them.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. Almost everything I got. Oh, here's one for the poll.
Amen.
Here's one from Bob. I agree with Rick Shaw. Some of the biggest laughs in the history of your show have been when you respond to the idiot callers with your florid insults. I hope you reconsider or at least take a few calls. No, Bob. No. The only people who want me to take calls are the chronic callers themselves. And Rick Shaw and Bob. I agree with Rick Shaw. You agree all you want. Call him up at home. Have a nice chat about how the show's gone to the dogs since Neil stopped taking those great calls. The call part of my show is over. It's finished. It's done. And a big part of that is on the shoulders of Beasley Broadcasting because they won't support this show. They won't lift a finger.
Nope.
To do anything for this show. Nope. Nothing.
Nope.
And so when you don't get any cooperation, and in fact, I think Rick Shaw should have written to me. I'm not going to put words in his mouth or anything else, but it's a miracle. I don't need him to kiss my ass, but it is a miracle that we're still on the air. They've thrown every roadblock, every monkey wrench in the way of this show to try to destroy it, to try to ruin it.
Right. Well, they want
you can't play this, and you can't say that, and you can't do this, and we won't help you with the phone, and whatever, and we're cutting your salary in half, and we're not going to guarantee any talent fees, and and just screw you as much as we can. We're still here. And we still have the highest ratings on this, and with a signal. A signal that you can't hear. If you're sitting under the tower, you can't hear it.
I think it's getting worse by the day, by the way.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Everybody I run into. What the hell happened to your signal? What the hell happened to the signal? Why can't I hear the show?
We are fading from the face of the earth, and yet we still manage to eke out some kind of a number. So keep this in mind. Friday, I said AMC was slipping. We needed more Godfather all weekend long. Godfather.
And I watched it.
And you watched it, and I watched it over and over and over again.
And in our house, it's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We're doing, like, lines right along with the characters.
That's right.
And, shouting stuff out.
Here's the award-winning schedule. We got the Big O at 2, Mad Dog 4 to 7, Dolphin tonight 7 to 8. Wow. DA 8 to 9, then 9 to 1, the WBC Championship from ESPN Radio. What is the WBC?
World
Bullschmidt Championship? I don't know what that is.
Or something?
What?
Something with a B? Baseball, basketball, bungee ball?
Oh, the World Baseball Classic. Whatever that is.
Bungball conference.
No, we're carrying that crap again? Oh, my God. Wow. All you Venezuelans and Puerto Ricans get all whipped up about that. I don't know who's still playing. I have no idea who's saying, and I'm sure nobody cares. Plus, it's on TV for free. But we got it from ESPN Radio, 9 o'clock tonight. So be sure to miss that. 1026 at 560 WQAM. Let me...
Neil, God. Here he comes. Quick, get off the street, or he might attack you like a piece of meat. All right. Oh, no, it's a monkey. Gonna kill anyone around. Will someone please call the police and take this crazy primate down? He used to be so gentle, snuggle up in bed, then he went on a warpath. Now I want him dead. Oh no, it's a monkey. He's terrorizing my hometown. Someone quick, get a machine gun and mow the chimpanzee down. Oh no, it's a monkey, a smaller version of old King Kong. A wild animal in my house. I can't imagine what could go wrong. Oh no, it's a monkey.
1031 at 560 WQAM. Let's see. Tonight's the final game of the WBC, the World Baseball Classic. Japan versus Korea, informs Rudy. He says, P.S. don't take calls. And I won't. But Paul Smith says, listen to Ricky Ticky. He's a great broadcaster. You could learn a lot from him. You need to funny up your show. It's stale and needs fine-tuning. Don't be a foolish old man. Listen to Rick. Yeah, it's stale and needs fine-tuning. I wonder which of the chronic callers Paul Smith is, huh?
Right.
Paul Smith, Joe Bell at inbox.com. Right.
Right.
Yeah. He's a great he's a disc jockey. Great disc jockey, legendary. And that's all well and good. Did he do a talk show? No.
I think you should take his advice and wear a hat.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I get that one from Dion that he used to wear all the time.
Right.
Same genre.
Like a captain's hat.
Although without the lint. Now, I'm trying to think. When Ricky Ticky came, I'm sure he did. He had the cap on when he came by Gulfstream. Don't remember, do you?
I do.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
He always wears that cap. I think he wears it to bed.
Trademark, probably. Although it does come off.
How do you know that?
I took it off of his head and posed with a picture of it on mine.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
You took Ricky Ticky's cap off his head?
Yep.
Rosemary says George needs to smoke a joint and chill out. Maybe he didn't get any this weekend. The Dow's up 268. It's the Obama bounce. Haven't heard from Maria B. in a long time. Wow. Maybe she's turned on us, too, that bitch. That bag-eyed bitch. She's gone. And, of course, all of our chronics, they've disappeared. See, you complained about the chronics. I like the chronics on the email.
Okay.
The fake Barry Jackass and the fake this one and that one. I like it.
Great.
Not the fake Greg Budello. He's a pun. Because I really think it's the real one. What?
The fake Greg Budell, the fake Larry King, that's all the same dude.
Yeah, and?
And
But it's material. Don't you understand? It's stuff.
If
it's
that's
stuff.
what you want to call
Jesus,
it.
Haven't you been doing this long enough that you know that it's stuff? It's something that you can. It's like
right.
Play-Doh.
It's stuff and nonsense.
Well, that's this show, man. Stuff and nonsense. Non-kosher hot dog incites rage at Jewish eatery. Here's a good one. Restaurant owner brandished electric knife to fend off outraged customers. This is a good story. You see, there's something worthwhile. And you're giving me crap about the damn emails. Oh, no, the emails all suck. It's all the same people.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Here's one that says, in response to George's assertion we're all the same D-bag chronics that ruined your show with their incessant retarded calls, I am not one of them. I started listening to your show toward the end of the calls, did not ever call in due to part to the shyness and part to intimidation. Now I can email whenever thoughts I have on a subject, and you can be the judge if it's worthy or not. Thanks, Neil God. Douche Nozzle Chris. See? There's a good guy, Douche Nozzle Chris.
And I didn't say all the emails were from Chronic.
Yeah, you did. You said they're all from the same people. That's exactly what you said. Play the tape. Play the tape.
It's obvious which ones are.
And which ones are those?
Oh, please. The fake this one, the fake that one, talking about other radio shows.
How about Douche Nozzle Chris?
How much time did you used to spend talking about the Steve Kane show and all these other shows that nobody cares about? But all those, the Chronics, the fakes, that's all they talk about.
I talk about the Steve Kane show?
They do.
See, you don't understand. I don't read those. Just like the one about the Paul and Ron show. There was a puff piece this morning, the length of your arm, and I deleted it immediately, not sooner. I don't read those.
Thanks.
Oh! Well, there you go. I mean, give me a little bit of credit for, like, screening out the real swill doesn't make it on the air.
I'll give you a little.
The real swill.
Thank God.
Now, here's George again on a cranky Monday, man. I'm going back to bed.
Better not, slacker.
I'm going back to bed, and then I'm going to get up at around 11:30 and go out. I had a big weekend at Woodbine. I forgot to tell you before the show. I'll tell you tomorrow morning. Big.
Excellent.
Tell
us now.
Saturday was good, and Sunday was great. What?
Tell me now.
No, I'm not going to tell you on the air.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into a song and dance on the air, how much I won, what I did, but now screw these people with no lives who want to live vicariously through my boring life. Oh, Neil, why don't you talk more about your life? They're not that much to tell you, okay? I'm doing the best I can for an old fool.
As thin as it is, I'd rather hear you tell me about your boring life than hear what the fake Joey Reynolds has to say.
Well, we haven't got anything from the fake Joey Reynolds. How do you like that?
Good.
Mr. Contrary, Mr. Argumentative, Mr. I didn't get any good weed this weekend or get laid.
That's not true.
That's what Rosemary said.
Yeah.
Here's one from Sam. Oh, not Sam. Over the years, I've called in under 10 times in the emailing era. Within 1 year, I've emailed you about a dozen times. Seems that people who would not call for any number of reasons choose to email to communicate with you. I think George is about 20% correct on this issue. P.S. George is improving. He had Lucy Lopez in the background like the bird. Background filler. And his voice kept a normal tone as opposed to the hyped-out, fast-talking helium voice he usually has when she's present. Way to go, George. Thanks, Sam. See, there's somebody
Thanks,
give you a little pat on the back. Here's one from Barry Jackass. I've been listening, just nothing to report lately. We'll let you know when I hear back from Ken Charles. Oh, we can't wait, Barry.
We'll hold our breaths.
Barry, the Radio Yenta. But I will say this, thanks to the fake or real Barry, whichever one it was, there's a lot of information we've gotten about. For example, we were, I think, first to tell everybody 940 was going all sports. We were on top of all this crap. The Bubba crap.
Bubba crap.
Yeah, the Bubba 93 point whatever it is. We've been at the forefront of a lot of crap because we're getting stuff, whether it's the real... What difference does it make whether it's the real Barry Jackass or somebody else on the inside who knows what's going on? What difference does it make?
None.
Well, there you go. God. Korea at Japan, and somebody calls it, I'm not going to read that, the World Blank Classic.
We can fill in the blank.
Yeah. How about this? Take calls once or twice a week. Final email communication blows. No thanks. Oh, Maria B. is back. See, I'll tell you. I have been listening. I'm just fresh out of material. Isn't that what Barry just said? Not that they could be the same person. I typically only like to chime in when the markets are under pressure, and as you know, the Obama bounce is happening. I hope you took my advice and bought dollar protection. Regards, Maria B. No, I did not. I didn't buy no dollar protection. Oh, and here's a Rolling Stone article somebody sent me that goes on about AIG. It goes on. It would take us till 4 in the morning to read this. on and on. I know you don't like links, so I printed out the whole article, and the article is about like 50 million words. Now, what am I going to do with that, besides wipe my ass with it? What am I going to do with a long, ponderous article like that?
Delete it?
Susan Brown has Viagra soft tabs from a famous Canadian online pharmacy for me. How do you like that? Delete, delete, delete. And at 4 in the morning, they were hawking me with that crap. Soft Viagra tabs. Soft Cialis. I think that these are for guys who are like 90 years old and couldn't get it up in a panty raid. Isn't that what all these emails are all about?
Yep.
For people who couldn't swallow like a real pill. So here we got like a soft gel.
Is it chewable?
Yeah, that's a good idea. 267 points on the upside. Party time.
You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Well, here we go. Thanks, Maria.
South Florida Sports.
Want a lollipop, little boy?
Start with a half-pound of ground beef from hyper-flatulent cattle raised on ranches that used to be rainforests. Then, grill it on an open flame with mesquite smoke billowing into the atmosphere. Add some sizzling habanero sauce so hot it can melt the polar ice caps all by itself. Hot. That's one heck of a burger. And you know what the inconvenient truth is? It tastes great. Beef. It's what's killing the planet.
I'll be damned. I didn't realize that beef's expelled raspberries. Did you?
Oh, no. Depends on what they eat.
Yeah. 1044 at 560 WQAM. Well, we have to be on pins and needles, all these bits that we play, if there's like any sound in there that might possibly be misconstrued,
Yeah.
Oh, well, you did this and you did that. And Yeah, okay, whatever you say. Blow it out your ass. Just like the cow. So here's the fake Greg Budell. Very short and sweet. Neil, would you kindly forward Mr. Bell's home phone number to me? He hasn't been accepting my phone calls at work. I can't imagine why.
I'll do it.
Regards, Gregory. That's it.
I'll do it.
Now, see, that got a chuckle out of you.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, forward Jolly Joe's home number to Gregory Benjamin Bedell.
And his email address and his physical address, too, while I'm at it.
There you go. And the address of his big
rectum
ass. John in Fort Lauderdale says, at the risk of changing the subject from the pros and cons of your call, is that the subject?
I don't know.
I think I just saw something hopping on this paper.
Really?
You can't see dust mites, can you?
Like a flea? I don't think so.
No, there are no fleas in here, okay?
There might be.
Based on what?
I don't know. They get around.
At the risk of changing the subject, your close personal friend Rimmer was on with Craig Minervini between periods Saturday night. Who cares? What's with his orange hair? Jeez, I don't know. I didn't see him, and I don't know. He was ponderous, reminiscing about the old Panther days. Not as ponderous as the performance by your Panthers, by the way, losing to Columbus 3-1. 2 more points flushed down the toilet. As the Leafs beat Montreal 5-2 to give a golden opportunity for the Panthers to slide into the 8th playoff spot. But no, they didn't show. And Jay Bowmister, by the way, if you continue taking a paycheck, it's criminal, like stealing. He don't even show up every night now. He was ponderous, reminiscing about the old Panther days, his fight with Pete Rose when he was doing the Expos, his years with the Canadians, says John in Fort Lauderdale. P.S. Shameless request, could you play Mo Meets Jerks? Do we have such a bit?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the name of it, but we have something like that.
Well, I don't know. We're not doing requests. Oh, you're so surly today, Neil. You're so nasty. Good. Good. I want to be surly and nasty. Now, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. It's colder than all hell, even though spring is here, but it's going to start warming up later in the week, and spring will be sprung. But Rick Shaw, of all people, who would have thought that Rick Shaw would have soured me on life with a long, ponderous MySpace? No wonder that MySpace is thinning out. And all these people with their Mobsters, Inc., did you get that stuff?
Oh, yeah. You kidding me?
I just deleted it right away.
Sure.
Who cares about all that silly crap? Why can't these people say something?
Oh, if only.
They have nothing to say,
that
whether it's on the email or the MySpace.
Whatever the medium, anything, that's the problem.
Anyway, here's the poll result from Friday. Boy, it sure took a long time to get around to this. The Dow's up 261. What is the dumbest sport? 1,063 votes. Curling, 251. Synchronized swimming, 238. It was a good battle right down to the wire. Bullfighting, 174. Stock car racing 92, golf 76, ice dancing 58, sumo wrestling 31, boxing 27, cricket 20, soccer 18, hurling 17, pommel horse 17, figure skating 14, bobsled, or as they say here, bobsleigh 7. Why do they say bobsleigh?
I don't know.
Because they're silly Canadians, is that it?
I thought there was a difference.
There's a difference between the bobsled and the bobsleigh?
A sled and a sleigh, so I don't know.
Really?
I thought
you just
so.
slay me with that.
All right.
Fencing 6, Australian rules football 5, biathlon 5, rugby 4, and rowing or crew 3.
I just figured out the difference.
What is it?
I think.
Bobsled, bobsleigh?
A sled is something that you just slide downhill with, and a sleigh,
is for the reindeer?
A sleigh is pulled by something like a reindeer or a horse.
I see.
I think. That's just my theory.
Yeah. I think you're full of it.
Probably.
Okay, here's the current poll. What's the worst thing about television today? 571 votes, and it's runaway reality shows. That was my vote, 294. Over 51% say reality shows. They suck. They're all garbage. And all these, I was channel surfing last night in between The Godfather and American, what is it? American something X? What is it called?
Oh, American History X.
American History X. Boy, that's a really depressing flick. Good movie, but very depressing. Seen it 100 times. And there was a thing with Donald Trump, and who was he kicking off of there? Tom Green. You're fired. You're fired. And all the same crap, and this one gets tossed out, and there's, what's his name, Denise Rodman with all the things in his nose, all the rings. Oh, God. There's television. Talk about monotone. Talk about one-note Charlie. They come up with one thing, and now everybody does the same crap. Oh, you're fired. You're excluded. You're kicked off. You're you're out. You're out, Tom. Even in The Godfather, there was one of those things. You're out, Tom. So you notice Godfather 3 was not included on AMC this weekend.
Good. It's an anathema. I'm pretending it doesn't exist.
There you go again. Needs to be seen.
No.
Reality shows 295. Dead.
Oh, see, thanks for reminding me why it needs to not be seen.
I love the parts with Hyman Roth in The Godfather 2. I just love that. He's recounting the story about... See, Michael thinks that Frankie Pentangeli is dead. Who gave the order? And then Mo gets up off the couch. Mo?
Right.
Hyman Roth gets up off the couch and starts recounting the story of Mo Greene. I didn't get angry, and that's when he really starts doing the postnasal Jewish drip. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't get angry because this wasn't personal. This was business. Well, whatever he said. I don't know what he said. This is the business we have chosen. Ricky Shaw. Well, what a shock that was to read that. I thought he was just finally emailing me and responding to something I wrote him months ago. And what does he do? He gives me a shtuch about the calls and this. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to do the show the way I want to do the show, and I've been doing it for 100 years that way. And so far, I haven't needed any assistance from any other goofballs. Reality shows 299, cable news 49, poker shows 47. The idea that anybody would watch poker, people play poker, is scary, terrifying.
They watch golf, they watch chess, they watch.
I don't watch
poker.
television 43. Do you believe that? I don't.
No.
Lack of quality game shows like the old days 27. Entertainment shows 23. Worst thing about TV today, too many channels 18. Too many channels. The sitcoms, 18. Daytime talk shows, 17. Nothing wrong with TV, 16. The dramas and their spin-offs like Law & Order and CSI, 12. Not enough channels, 9. Yeah, we need a lot more channels. We need 50,000. Oh, here's Harry Carey from heaven. The boys up here get a real kick out of the Guiding Shiite. Play it and I'll send you tickets to the Cubs home opener. No, I'm not playing the request. That's been played into the ground. Don't you just love these people trying to manipulate the show?
What else is new?
I hear the Marlins are getting a new stadium. I was hearing Cow Schmidt that before I died. Holy cow. Love you mucho, Harry Carey. Yeah. Cow Schmidt. Oh, here's one with real teeny tiny print. From Joe. Better print it out. Just imagine all the fax paper I'm wasting. Oh, Barry Jackass said Sid was on with Imus this morning. He has interviews with stations in Vegas and Atlantic City. Well, isn't that great? Oh, and here's a picture of him in a bathing suit. Oh, gross.
Wow.
Jesus, Sid, the kid in a bathing suit? That's from Sid. Oh, here's the fake Scott Farrell. The real Scott Farrell said, texted George this morning, said, tell Neil I said hi. He was the beginning of the end for this radio station, by the way, Farrell.
I thought it was Howard.
No, Howard was after Farrell.
Oh, was he? I forget.
After they got fined for Farrell and their license was in grave jeopardy, they came up with a brilliant idea, endorsed by Joyce, by the way. Oh, let's put the Stern Show on the air with 100 dump buttons. Have Duff sitting in there having a nervous breakdown with 4,000 dump buttons. Like that. And that worked out real well, too, didn't it?
Yeah.
How many 100 years before we finally got our license back? Nice going, Greg Reed and Joyce and the whole Beasley clan, man. You people are geniuses. It's like if you get a speeding ticket for going 90 miles an hour in a 60 zone or 55 zone, and damn near lose your license, and then so you decide the next weekend you're going to go out and go 120. That's what putting Stern on here was like. I remember I was at Woodbine that day. How unusual. And my BlackBerry was buzzing, and it was Clarence. Clarence. And I went outside so I could hear what he was mumbling about.
Yeah.
And that's the day he told me about the Stern thing. And, of course, at that point, they had never even considered, well, what are we going to do about the fact Stern goes way over past 10 o'clock and some days goes till 11 and Neil's contract says he's on 10 to 2. What are we going to do about that? Remember the Soros, the grief that was caused by that? Boy, do we ever. Remember?
Yep.
But that's the way they do things. Not slow, not fast, just absolutely half-fast. That's the way the Beasley people do crap. Oh, let's stick Stern on there. And of course, Greg was giving Barry Jackass. I'm intrigued by the possibility. He's intrigued. He was intrigued by the possibility of blowing the license down the toilet. That would have been good. What did I tell him about Stern? And sure enough, the first day that the show was on the air, somebody had filed, before 10 o'clock, somebody had already filed 3 complaints with the FCC.
Right.
The first day that we carried the show, right?
Yep.
The same somebody I knew was going to be going nuts.
I remember you warning them. I don't know if you do.
What?
You warned them.
Yeah. And, of course, their attitude was, oh, well, what does Neil know? You know, he's such a sour old fag.
Everything we've ever said. They've had the same.
Just like hiring Fat Boy. Whatever we say, they'll do the opposite.
That's wrong.
Because they're the experts. We know nothing. Boy, this has sure been a real sour hour, you know it?
What are you talking about? This is great radio. It's compelling.
Oh, is it? Thank God I blocked him. Wow. Where's the one where they're all bent out of shape? I'll get to the hot dog thing.
Oy.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff here.
Good.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Rick in Deerfield Beach. As I listen, I've noted more infighting between you and George. If anything is going to destroy your show, it's the bickering between you two like 2 old hags. I know you don't like advice, but how about a bit more variety in the shows? Throw in some emails, some commentary, and some live calls. Variety's more interesting. Blow it out your ass, Rick. Yeah. How about this? How about that? No. See, and Rick Shaw started all this. I never should have even read that stupid email.
That's all right.
Everything was going along just fine. And now they're starting with the calls here. How about more variety? Do this, do that. No. More show advice. More critiques. How do you say it?
Complaints and critiques.
Complaints and critiques and show advice and life advice.
Yep.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
This portion of the show brought to you by Britney Spears the JJ. It's hanging out, y'all.
11:02 at 560. I'm just playing that every break, I think.
Please do.
Over. In fact, what I'm going to do is just play it all day, the whole 4 hours.
Go
and
ahead.
Then take some calls.
This portion of the show brought...
Maybe not. Oh, Justin says, Neil, you're the demise of WQM with your pathetic bickering bullshit. That's why Justin's listening, because I'm a pathetic bickering bullshmitter.
They love it.
Yeah, that's Joe Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Make no mistake about it. That's Jolly Joe Bell sending that in.
That would explain a lot.
What do you mean by that?
Joe Bell writing a lot of these fake emails. I mean,
I'm sure of that. What else has he got to do?
Right.
I mean, he can quote chapter and verse everything that's on his show, so he obviously is like, listening to the show 4 hours. I just don't get it. Getting paid to listen to this show? Or maybe he's the monitor.
There you go.
I'm monitoring you. I'm monitoring you.
Who was that?
The unmentionable one. I'm monitoring you. I'm going to call up all your sponsors. I'm monitoring you. The fake Scott Farrell says, Neil, you're the best. George is okay as long as he doesn't do a 4-hour show. The email format is okay, but I do like some calls once in a while. Fact is, it's your show, and who gives a flying F what some people think. That's correct. I do like some calls once in a while. I would, too, if we ever had any. Miss you, Neil. I'm drowning over here on Howard 101. Any chance you can get me back on the air to shake it up? The fake Scott Farrell. No chance. The Dow's up just a shade under 300 points. Wow. I think we ought to have a big-ass party. Get a bunch of food in there, okay, and give them some free plugs.
Today?
Any day.
Okay.
Tell Joe Bell to go to hell. Tell him when he delivers that trade-out car for you, that's when you'll start listening to his bullshit.
Good plan.
I think I finally threw out, I had it in my pile of crap here, that memo about the food in the studio. Oh,
yeah, I probably
that was, I think, the turning point. That was the beginning of the end. And then, of course, after that started this crap about eating on the air, all this baloney. All of a sudden, after all these years, they decided, eating on the air is gross, and the lip smacking and all that other crap. I wish I had a weenie. I'd go and heat one up right now, just out of spite.
Well, his deal wasn't eating on the air. It was the getting food for free.
That has morphed into that.
Sure.
The neurosis about us eating on the air. I mean, we're on in the middle of the day when people eat lunch.
I don't believe one of those people.
No, they're all fake. Keep trying to tell you about these emailers.
Ojanum provocatorum goyim.
They're all a bunch of fakers. The Dow's up only 292 now. Got too close to 300. Oh, Walt with a suggestion for a poll. Oh, God. What's your take on hot and spicy? Oh, my God.
Huh?
And it was so good he said it twice. It was such a great poll idea. Walt sent it twice, so I had to delete it twice.
Hot and spicy.
What's your take on hot and spicy? I don't know. If that isn't tragic, I have no idea what is. But at least it was a different guy. See, that's why when you knock the fake this one and fake that one, the chronic email fakes.
Yeah.
At least their stuff I can read. The stuff from a lot of these people, like Walt with this pathetic poll, I mean, what am I going to do with that? Besides wipe my ass with it?
I don't know.
Well, let's move along. Kathy says, subject, Bubba crap. Wish there was something to listen to other than him. Don't listen full-time, but tune back and forth among the other stations. Can't wait to see Bubba's numbers next time, though. Almost tuned him out for good when he added another market to his network and proclaimed he was going to run Bob and Tom, those old men who just sit there and cackle, out of town. He's Stern Jr. when it comes to that. No one and nothing is as good as him when it comes to his show. This morning, because of his ADD, they went from talking about the 16-year-old who fell from the balcony in Daytona to a radio stunt he did when he skydived tandem and the school didn't harness him correctly. He suffered some kind of damage to his thighs because the straps were in the wrong place, and went on and on about how awful this was and how that if anyone on his staff was ever stupid enough to skydive, he'd fire them. Then he went to commercials, first one of which was a skydiving school. Again, Mike Disney, can we have our music back now, or Bob and Tom? Please,
no.
Says Kathy.
No.
Please, pretty please. Please?
No.
Oh. Well, there's a few people that think Bubba's the greatest thing since sliced bread, I'll tell you that. Not too many. I can never find that damn thing, you know? I don't know why I can't find it. The Disney thing.
Oh, it's under Diz.
Oh, Diz! Yeah, Bubba the Love Sponge is the greatest morning show in the history of mankind.
That's my opinion. I'm Mike Disney.
And you're a red-nosed jerk. Jackass. Jackball. Mike Disney. Oh, my God. That nose just kept getting redder and redder and redder.
Yeah.
I mean, giving new meaning to that term, drunken Irishman. And then, of course, him and Boy Gary. Oh, brother. Oh, I want a piece of this right now. I want a piece of this, too.
What? A piece of what?
Boy, Gary. Oh, that's when I was having a conversation with Disney about something. I don't know. He was all bent out of shape because his wife had a miscarriage or something and blamed it on me. Didn't blame it on me, but he was just in a sour, drunken mood at noon one day.
I see.
And so I had a confab with him. I forget what it was about. And Boy Gary had to come running in. Oh, I want a piece of this, too. A piece of this. Yeah, you're a piece of something, Boy Gary. A piece of Schmidt. God, the people that we have worked for.
And with?
Oh, mostly for.
Yep.
Dangerous. Neil, I was listening yesterday to QM with one of your promos came on and swear I laughed my ass off. Neil, it was the Volca bit where he's singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The commercial was like 2 minutes long and it was hilarious. Can you please play the commercial, not the bit again? God, that was awesome. Always listening. Thanks, says somebody, Georgianne. Well, what does that mean? Please
probably
play the
on
commercial?
the internet or something. I don't know.
What?
It was probably on the stream or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we don't know what it is. Oh, that other person wasn't me. So-and-so is a crazy person, says Greg Budell, right. The other person wasn't me.
Wait, we have a fake Greg Budell?
Yeah, we have a fake. Oh, you old faggot, if you take calls, you know I ain't Joe Bell, you bitter old faggot, says Justin. Justin, who all of a sudden was invented by probably John ZTR or one of the Chronics.
Sure.
They just invented him. That's okay, good. That spices it up a little bit. As opposed to, I'm your friend, I'm your friend. We can have 40,000 emails saying, spice it up with some calls, and I'm still not taking any. How do you like that?
Okay.
This show has been so much better since I stopped taking the abuse from these 4 idiots on there. And these people, if you just, and Rick Shaw, of all people, who's supposed to be a broadcaster, who's supposed to understand something about this business, I thought. And instead of just saying, hey, I'm doing great, retirement is wonderful, blah, 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 I'm still out here listening, instead of just saying that, no, he's got to give me advice. I don't need your advice, okay, Rick? There's only one piece of advice you should have given me a long time ago, and that's retire. And then you could have sent me a bunch of money so I could afford to. I mean, one would have thought that, with all the money I had accumulated over the years, that I would be able to retire at this point. But guess what? I have an expensive life. Got a lot of people out there who depend on those checks coming in every 2 weeks. And you know me.
Yep, you're a giver.
I spread it around, although I did forget to send those checks, damn it, to Fatso and, what's his name?
And Skinny So.
Fatso and So-So. Oh, yeah, Cordes, he's So-So. He is.
Poor John.
I know he's your buddy because you do drugs with him and whatever, but beside that.
Whatever.
No, because you had the hots for his Russian girlfriend.
Had?
And he was willing to share, but then she dumped his ass in a heartbeat. When she discovered that was like a stunt, a fake penis. Did you know that Josh Cordes has a stunt penis?
No, I actually did not know that.
Little Bird told me.
Were you drudge packing?
Rodriguez is in trouble now. Do I believe what he says? I don't know for sure. Some cars and gave him injections, but now I'm suspecting that story is porn. I kind of get the feeling that the thought of guilt is killing Alex and Hal. That cousin probably never existed. He insists he did. Where is that cousin now? Hey, Rod. Hey, Rod. Hey, Rod. Hey, Rod.
I'm your friend. I'm your friend.
11:15 at 560 WQAM. Hi, Ron. That's for the people who want the calls.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
On their behalf.
Joe Howard says, subject phone callers. Hi, Neil and George. For many years of listening to your show since 91, I never called in because I stumble, bumble, and stutter when I speak on the air. I am much more fluent, able to get the point across, and contribute a lot more effectively to the show when I write. Plus, the boss never hears my voice when I email, and he thinks I'm working anyway. But that's just me. Sure, there are those calls where someone can discuss a topic and sound interesting, but that's a small minority of callers. Absolutely correct, sir. Of course, without phone calls, there are no more people saying, it is so hard, or I don't know, or I, which are staples of the show. Good luck to the two of you, says Joe. Well, guess what, Joe? When's the last time, and you can inform me, when's the last time that we had a clip, a drop-in from somebody on the phone, from a phone call?
Long time.
Years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There are no drop-ins from people who just say, I'm your friend, 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, a gazillion times. There are no drop-ins. There's nothing there. And maybe somebody in the audience will think of the last time we had somebody say something cutesy or interesting or amusing or whatever. Like, for example, since he mentions this in his email, that's 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The bridge tender, 200 years ago. The tree lady, 400 years ago.
Right.
All of that stuff.
You're gay.
Yeah, that may be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
That's from your boyfriend. I can't believe you played that, actually.
Well,
what?
It was a funny call.
Well.
What do we have?
That was up to 86. Can't quite get to that 300 mark. If it does, boy, I'm going back to bed. What the hell? WIOD listeners flood station with good news. The fake Tom Jicka is going. This is a whole puff piece about Jimmy Syphilis. Not interested, Tom. We're not promoting the Jimmy Syphilitic show, okay? George still has no car. He also had no car in Cuba, and every day he saw his family drive around Cuba on bicycles. His life is no different in Miami. Please let him down easy on your capitalist tool. It might cheer him up. Yankee dog hater Fidel. Whatever the hell that all means. Just another cheap shot at poor George. I bet you that's from Joe Bell. That's a rationalization over the fact that they lied to you. They have no intention of trading you a car or even a bicycle. And you really believe them?
Did I ever say that?
I think you did.
Did I ever say that?
I got the impression that you did. Did you not believe them?
I don't believe anything in this place.
It's Monday.
I don't believe it.
Monday,
sure.
Tuesday, Saturday.
Yeah, let's do that again.
Yeah, let's go back to what does that mean? We'll get like 20 different definitions of Monday.
And then we can discuss the different meanings of the word bicho.
I guess I could just ask Paco directly, what does that mean, Monday? But then he would assume I'm trying to like listen in on the phone calls, you know.
I think it's funny that he got all bent out of shape that you wanted to take a Spanish class.
He didn't get bent out of shape. He just,
was sour on it.
They thought it was a bad idea.
Well, I think it's a great idea.
A bad idea. No, it's not a great idea. I'm 66 years old. I'm going to start taking Spanish lessons.
Why not?
I'm going to learn another language.
Why not?
I'll tell you why not. Because when you get old, your brain doesn't have the retentive capacity that it does when you're younger. You don't have the ability to learn like when you're. That's true.
It's a cop-out.
What do you know about it? What do you know about being 66 years old? You should only live so long.
I hope I do.
Well, good luck to you. And when you're 66, how about taking some Russian lessons so you can converse with a Fidel?
I just might.
Comunista. There's that great scene where Batista is admitting defeat and bailing out.
Mm-hmm.
Salud my ass. Batista. What a gangster. But they liked him because he was their gangster. You know, that's always the way it is. It's like the old Jews on the beach. They loved Meyer Lansky because he was their gangster. He used to walk his dog on Collins Avenue. He was such a wonderful man. Yeah, you should live so long. All those old farts, all those miserable old crabby bastards that used to just bug the crap out of me at W Snooze and KAT. They're all dead now. They're all pushing up daisies. They're all dead. Every one of them. Rogers, you'll never make it 6 months in this market. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're all dead. Including there was one old creep used to call Larry Kent all the time, and Larry would put him on the air. Instead of just hanging up on him right away, Larry would put him on the air and let him go through his whole thing, bashing me, that fagala, fag, blah, blah, all this other crap. What the hell was his name? It'll come to me. Larry Kent. He's also dead, by the way. Big, fat, dead man.
Yeah.
Big and fat generally leads to dead.
Right.
Oh, I got some dead people in my pile here. What the hell did I do with them?
Wow. You got a pile of dead people?
I'm really slipping bad. Before we get, I finally do have, I'm accumulating a bunch of crap here today. Thank God. Better than reverting to the calls. Oh, you're wrong, Neil. You're wrong. Ricky Ticky says you're wrong. Well, you know what? Screw Ricky Ticky. Let him stick to his talk-ups and to his 50s and 60s music. He's an expert on this show. Non-kosher hot dog incites rage at Jewish eatery. Restaurant owner brandished electric knife to fend off enraged customers. It was an all-out Frankfurter frenzy this week at a popular Jewish restaurant in Brooklyn as a certain hot dog caused a near riot. It's not what you'd expect. A worker in New York City eatery caught on tape fending off a group of Jewish patrons with an electric knife.
Oi!
I was petrified. Stuff was going through my mind. A patron who didn't want his name used said, I want to live. I don't want to get stabbed for a hot dog. What a weenie.
Cute.
The longtime patron says the chaos broke out when he and a rabbi noticed the Frankfurters on the grill were not kosher in a restaurant that's supposed to be dishing out the kosher variety. The package didn't look kosher, the patron said. It was the last piece in the package. Some customers were quick to defend the worker, who was surrounded by, according to some witnesses, 100 enraged people. He just got angry, the patron said. He wasn't about to do anything to the guys. The rabbi who originally certified the Shawarma King restaurant kosher, I thought shawarma was a Middle Eastern, like a Arab thing.
I don't know.
What is shawarma?
I'll look it up.
Has written a letter to the community in a Jewish newspaper. In a letter he calls the Frankfurter mix-up a terrible mistake. It was a one-time incident. Borough Park resident Yossi Stern, who translated the Yiddish letter for CBS 2, said they caught it before it was even served to the consumers. Thanks God. Can you imagine them eating treif? The rabbi tells the community that a worker was sent out to buy hot dogs and that he went to the wrong market and bought non-kosher hot dogs. Neighbors say the owner is an honest man. He's a very religious man, one neighbor says. He studies every morning, and he's not the type of guy to fool people. The popular spot on 13th Avenue was shut down for several days as rabbis examined the premises for non-kosher food and threw out equipment that came in contact with the uncertified meat. Oh, my God. Talk about a bunch of real getchkis. They threw out equipment that came in contact with the uncertified meat.
That's right.
Oh. Customers and the restaurant's owner say they're hoping similar incidents don't come up in the future. The restaurant's owner says that in addition to throwing out equipment, utensils were cleaned with flame to purge any pieces of the non-kosher food. Thank you, Delray Dan, for a marvelous story. An embarrassing story. I have a feeling in my life I've come in contact with uncertified meat, but I'm not going to burn in hell for it. Or maybe I am.
You might.
That's okay. It was well worth it, believe me. Uncertified non-kosher meat. This should be your worst problem, you getchkis. You farbissin lunatics, you. What did I tell you about the Orthodox, man?
I don't know. What did you?
I think the last drop-in was from the crazy bastard Reverend Jones. You're gay, says Fred Souter. And Fred, of course, is a little bit late. Yeah, a little bit late.
Thanks, Fred.
But even that was an eternity ago. Callers are mostly mindless idiots who have nothing whatsoever to add. And then he writes, Eddie. He wasn't a caller. He was a voicemail guy. That's Fred Souter. Thanks, Fred, but as usual, a little bit late. Oh, Anita Bryan says, woo! Now we've really made it that Anita's back. I wonder how Bob Greene's doing. Is he still out hanging out with the guys? David says, you're going to take some calls, old man, and give us what we want. We want the calls, you old coot. No, I'm not. He's giving me orders. He's giving me directions. Funny drops. Greg Budell writes, where's they list? Where's they list? Not where's the list. Where's they list? You're illiterate besides being hated by everybody, Greg. Greg also says, and now you're turning on the great Rick Shaw because he dares to offer some show advice. You are relentless. Yes, I am. I like him just fine. I just don't want him telling me how to do my show, that's all. I never told him how to do his talk-ups or how to do his show. I treated him with the greatest respect and like him just fine. But don't send me long, ponderous emails about how I should do this, and let's meet halfway. Like we're in some kind of a negotiation about how I'm going to do my show. This is what happens when you're retired and you have way too much time on your hands, Ricky. Oh, shawarma. Somebody sent me a picture. You sent it.
Me.
Oh, it looks like crap. What is that?
Looks like a gyro. It says it's similar, too.
But what is that turd? Looks like a goldfish sitting on the edge of it. Shawarma. is a Middle Eastern Arabic-style sandwich-like wrap, usually composed of shaved lamb, goat, chicken, turkey, beef, or a mixture of meat. Sounds really trafe to me. Whoa.
Sounds yummy.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something even better, and that's Quiznos.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. MONDAYSUCKS. Now the NASCAR season's back. I want to go to the racetrack. Wear my Chevy t-shirt and lucky cap. I'm gonna drink me lots of beer, and I'm gonna hoot and holler and cheer, and watch my driver win and take his victory lap. And then he's gonna smoke his tires. The rubber smell can make you cough, but baby, it really gets me off. Can't be much higher. I think I'm tough, but it turns me into a crier when my driver smokes his tires.
Yeah, smoke this. Are you smoking tires or what?
All the time.
How about the smell of burnt rubber? What does that do for you?
Makes me want to run, leave the room.
Really?
Yeah, it's a nasty smell. You like that?
No, I don't. Lots of aromas that I'm not too crazy about, especially old Chinaman.
What do they smell like? Old Chinaman?
Well, guess where I'm going at 2 o'clock? I just got the memo that somebody's going to be pretty busy today, and we're going to have lunch tomorrow. So today I'm free to get in my beautiful Corvette and drive right on off to Woodbine.
Go ahead.
2 o'clock. I will.
Good.
Paul Smith says, stop using my good name in your angry old way. Stop now, Joe Bell.
Okay.
These people are just having some fun, okay? And you take it also, it's the same Chronics and blah, 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 blah. Who cares? All that's important is that, you, like you said, get paid, get laid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting paid.
It's a good start.
The other part. Not the other part. Here's one that says, it's Anita. Did I already, if I don't get to it right away in 2 seconds, you don't have to send it a second time like the fake Tom Jicka about Paul Lyle. Could you add too many news channels to the poll? No, that's stupid. Too many news channels. Too many sports channels. Too many, that's just stupid. Isn't it?
Yes.
And one thing we don't want to be, like Mo would say, stupid. Anita Bryant says, I enjoy listening to your show. A couple suggestions for you to mull over. STFU about, what is that? About glory holes and all the gay stuff. What does STFU mean?
Shut the F up.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Hey, I learned something. It's not even noon yet. I learned something today.
Stick around. We got more.
It's disgusting. The only person who gets off hearing that is George, because apparently he's having some issues with his wife.
Uh-huh.
Well, he's having some issues with his wife. Now we know what you're doing in your spare time.
You're looking for glory hole.
Yeah.
Right. He's hanging out at Westland.
Oh, yeah.
And what's that other mall? Supposed to be the Great
Dolphin Mall?
The Dolphin Mall. It says, I do like the emails as people can express themselves better than on the phone. I did like the phone calls. The best phone call was when some guy called in and said he was driving around on the highway, and they'd go back to talk about something unrelated. During his conversation, he'd start screaming and play the sound audio of a car crash and then hang up. I think he or she did this a few times on the show. Do you remember that?
No.
Playing the car crash sounds in the background? Wow. Talk more about movies. I trust you as a recommender of movies. I took your advice to see Once Upon a Time in America a couple of years back. Please suggest more movies. Well, what about American History X?
Uh-huh.
So all in all, less queer stuff, more movie talk. Dedicate plus or minus 30 minutes of your show to take calls. No. And let all the prank callers get it out of their system. No, the purpose of the show isn't for them to get it out of their system. That's not the purpose of the show. And send George back to Cuba so he can't be bothered to do the show and continue to be whining about his wife or whipped by his wife. You can replace him with a real assistant like Brian Craig, says Anita Bryant. Well, there's a match made in heaven.
Right.
Anita Bryant and Brian Craig. Oh, my God. Talk about a
gay
obsession. Now, guess what? I know it's going to come as a great shock. Two things. One, we don't show up here every day to take abuse from people. And number two, I'll talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And I'll do the show however the hell I want to do the show. Oh, no, that's wrong, Neil. You have to satisfy your customers. The Dow's up 277. 77. No, remember what I told you? So many times in life that just keeps popping up. That's 77. Not 44, not 66, not 22, but 77. Brings us back to the old days of radio, baby.
WABC!
Right. He's still alive, right, Chubby Checker?
As far as we know.
Yeah, we know. He's alive. Brandon says, I can't understand why somebody like Bubba can be on the air. Not only is he unlistenable, he can't talk worth a damn. He stutters really bad. 25. And he always talks about him and his staff are manly men because they go to strip clubs and drink beer. And anybody who doesn't do these things and other manly things is a fag. Everybody who isn't on their side is either a fag, bitch, or a hack. Bad radio shows, says Brandon. Bubba the Love Sponge. Oh. What a big impact he had. Almost as big as Man Cow. Remember that experiment? That was Steve Lappa again. And James Crystal Radio, Norma Kent's specialty. By the way, ask me if I've heard from Norma Kent. No. I don't care if I hear from Norma Kent ever again because he's just, he's obsessed with his fantasy baseball and his fantasy legal blog and fantasy life and whatever. Fantasy lunches with Joe Bell. When there's somebody who doesn't follow through with their assignment, I don't reckon that I'm going to sit down and write a check and mail it out to anybody.
No?
They don't follow through with their assignment. No. The fake Tom Jicka says, Bubba the Love Sponge versus Octomom. I freely admit to being a pencil neck geek, says fake Tommy, whose brain is addled by too much of the Diane Rem show. Who's that?
Diane Reams, maybe?
Ream? Who is that?
On NPR, I believe. She
Reams?
I think so.
Still, I'm rarely shocked, yet as I was flipping through radio stations this morning, I was taken aback by the on-air pummeling that 93.1 Bubba the Love Sponge was giving to the Octomom. Bubba was talking about how people like Octomom just drain resources from taxpayers, how good people like himself should be allowed to have kids, he said. In the span of just a few minutes, Bubba called the Octomom a whore at least 5 times and a bitch at least 8 times. Kill the mom, kill the doctor, he said. Yeah. Judging by the FCC guidelines, Bubba was pushing his luck. On the agency's website, it defines profanity as including language so grossly offensive to members of the public who actually hear it as to amount to a nuisance. Oh, in other words, you couldn't turn it off? Profane speech is prohibited on broadcast radio and television between the hours of 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. David Frisk, the director of the FCC's Office of Media Relations, says his office, well, if you don't like it, complain to the FCC. Fake Tommy. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, at least Bubba exercised some restraint when he said of the Octomom, I so want to blast the C word on her right now, but he didn't. Then he went back to his contest to see if any of his minions could drink a gallon of green milk without puking. Oh, so Tampa, Temple Terrace, Lutz,
Dunedin.
Clearwater. What?
Dunedin?
Dunedin.
You done eating?
Yeah, I'm done eating.
All right.
I'm trying to think if I got anything in the refrigerator that I could eat on the air just to piss off those idiots. Oh, it's so bad, man. Do as you will, do as you please. But my ass.
Ass your butt.
All these
Don't you got some weenies in there?
All these phony complainers. Oh, Adam Oshmuck over in Kitchener-Waterloo sends me a story here about a kid in China who got killed by a chair. Sounds like one of those horror movies.
Like an animated chair?
No.
Oh,
Frank Del Vecchio, who keeps sending me copies of these letters. Oh, my God. Frank, good luck to you. Your intentions are great. Quit bugging me. Now they're starting to come in, man. Now they're starting to trickle in, including one from the real Suds. I bet it's the real one, because he occasionally does email me.
Yes, he does.
Well, let's see what he says. A guy goes in for a checkup, is sitting on the table, wearing his paper gown when the doctor comes in and says, first you have to stop masturbating. Why? Asked the patient. The doctor says, because I need to examine you. That's not bad.
It's cute. Old but cute.
It's old?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I never heard it before.
And you're
and
oldest.
Believe me, they don't come any older than me.
Not many.
Thanks,
Howard David's a bitch.
Oh, what the heck?
Finally got a call here. The number one rated Mo Howard and David in the show. At least according to my aspirations. Stay away from me. I don't even know how you have children. Miramar, hello.
I want your take on Jay Fiedler.
Oh, well, Jay Fiedler is a great quarterback and a good Jew.
I like Jay Fiedler.
Well, not to mention he's got extraordinarily smooth buttocks.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, but you gotta be careful what you say here.
Okay, Doc. Thank you, Mo.
No, wait a minute. Don't go.
But I have nothing else to say.
How about this? How's the weather down there in the Miramar?
I'm right down the street from you.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go.
Oh, wait, by the way, something.
No, I have to go.
Look, I tell you what. I'll hold you over the break. How's that, huh? I'll give you one of my old tank T-shirts. How's that? No, wait. That was the only caller we had.
The veins on your nose is glowing again. Wow! You got big purple veins on your nose and on your face, and around those oozing pimples you call eye. If you go look in the mirror, you'll see a roadmap of Ypsilanti. You got your hippies on, way too tight.
My nose glows when something stings. Almost every day I think. And my veins, they start to tickle. My adenoid, yeah, I look like I'm falling apart. That's because I'm a cranky old bard with a nose that's filled with purple veins. It's something like that you want to see on Science Channel Discovery. My nose has a bleeding purple vein.
13 till noon at 560 WQAM. Happy Monday from all your friends at QM. How many calls we taking today?
Oh.
None. How many calls we taking tomorrow?
Oh.
Wednesday? Anyway. You get the message?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
David Woodworth, who's usually a chronic malcontent, says, did you know that Al Goldstein was recently in the nut ward of the VA hospital in New York? This according to his blog on something. AlGoldstein.com. Regards, DNW. Yeah, regards. 1 minute they're calling me a cranky old fart. The next minute it's regards. You people can't make up your mind, can you? Can't make up your mind, can you?
No.
David?
Hey, regards, you cranky old fart.
Yeah, that's right. Best regards, you cranky old son of a bitch. And die soon.
Yeah, nuts to you.
But anyway, have a nice day. Yeah.
Drop dead and have a nice day.
Like Mike Siegel. Some crank would call and just bitch him out. And, oh, well, I'm not going to listen to that, but thank you very much for your call. Why would you say thank you very much for your call? Here's something that if this is true, you will have the biggest party in your pants in the history of the human race.
Well, let me get my pants ready.
Do I? Yeah, I'm telling you.
You got a party favorite.
And Joe Rose will have an even bigger party in his
rectum
pants.
All right, I got my noisemaker down there.
This is from Mark Hawk, the fake Mark Hawk across the street.
Right.
Subject: success follows success. Hi, Neil and George. The bastard night of the Panthers was well. We don't care about that. I was wondering if you've gotten reports on who's going to replace Sid in the morning yet. Well, if you haven't, I have news for you. Sedano doesn't want to leave his time slot. Even though you've beat him consistently, he's clinging to a couple of books or trends where he won on the ratings. Non-existent. Maybe there was a trend, a month or so in there somewhere where they got some diaries wired. Mm-hmm. I think he knows that he's benefiting from low expectations when he's going against you from 12 to 2 p.m. If he were to move to mornings, the expectations would be much higher, and his job would be in serious jeopardy if he didn't start getting higher ratings. Something above the ones. The powers that be have finally begun to consider other options in case they don't make Sedano move to mornings. The rumor at the office is, here you go. Hold on tight, okay? You strapped in?
I am. I got it all locked and loaded.
Let me give you a clue.
Coming at you.
How about that? How about that? How about that?
The rumor at the office is Jason Jackson coming at you. He's going to fill in for a few mornings in the next week or two. Oh, my God. From your mouth to the Lord's ass.
Right.
That is the greatest news in the history of the subhuman race.
Wow.
That makes sense. He failed badly over here.
Both stations, if it sucks, if it has failed, if it failed in this market, if it failed in another market, let's put it on twice.
They love it. Let's put it on again.
How fast
let it fail.
Let's
see
pay
how
a lot
bad
more
it fails
for it.
this
Let's
time.
pay, yeah.
If at first you don't succeed, fail again.
Sure.
Isn't that how that saying goes?
Apparently there are a lot of people that subscribe to that philosophy.
Now, here's something I just learned because I looked up Deep Purple, which is a great song. Not by Mo Howard, but although I do love that bit where he says "adenoidoidoidoidoidois." Wow, that's almost as good as Who Put the Goober in Gubernatorial, or whatever he says.
Mm-hmm.
Nino Tempo and April Stevens had a very big hit, Deep Purple. There we go. Boy, how'd you do that so fast?
I got Russian fingers.
You got what?
Russian fingers, man. They're
Russian
Russian
fingers. What do they call those? Like tiramisu is made with a certain kind of thing.
Coffee.
No, I'm not talking about that. A certain kind of like a pastry thing.
Oh, I don't know. Somebody will know.
Oh, what do they call those? You know what I'm talking about? They're like orange and filled with cream.
Ooh, sounds good, whatever you're talking about.
They are good. Ooh. What do they call those? Well, somebody will know. So anyway, Nino Tempo and April Stevens, which I never knew this before, and I bet you don't know it either. Brother and sister act from New York.
No, I did not know that. Speaking of brother and sister act.
Yes.
Same song? Brother and sister act?
Donnie and Marie. Hey, Donnie, how's it hanging?
Low and ready
hey,
to go
Donnie,
is what I heard.
You're old and ugly, Donnie. What do you got, Donnie? See it?
Ooh.
Oh, I couldn't hear it.
Way worse version.
Yeah, bad. Really bad. Didn't need to be done. Like a lot of those remade movies didn't need to be done. That was up 292. Oh, look at this. People are going to financial boot camp on CNN. Maybe they can bring back Sally Jesse and resurrect her crap.
Are you thinking about ladyfingers?
Ladyfingers, that's right. I think that's what they call them, isn't it?
Thanks, Lee.
Oh, thanks, Lee. See, Lee knows his fingers.
Yes, he does.
And he knows his
rectum.
Ass.
That's right.
From your elbow. Formed in the early 1960s when Nino Tempo and April Stevens signed as a duo with Atco Records, the group had a string of Billboard hits, earned a Grammy Award as the best rock and roll record of the year for the single Deep Purple. Now, who did Billy Ward and the Dominoes did Deep Purple? I bet you don't have that. Billy
no.
Ward and the Dominoes? Well, why not?
Well,
they had a great recording on Liberty Records.
If it's out there, I'll get it. Same song?
What did I just say? Deep Purple.
Well, I mean, there might be a different song by the same name.
There's not another song named Deep Purple. My God, what is wrong with you? Now, who did the original Deep Purple back in 1940-something? Deep Purple by Hoagie Carmichael? Is that who it was? Or did he do Stardust? I always think of those two songs in the same vein for some reason. That was up 300 points, but now it's back to 296. It was up 300 points just as I looked at the screen. And then it receded. It went back down real fast. Somebody sold something. Probably Maria. Nice hearing from you today, Maria. By the way, this Friday we're starting that feature. Not. The Dow's up 300.27. Oh, happy day. 301. Now, here's something also you didn't know. Nor did I. Deep Purple was originally released as a B-side by producer Ahmet Erdogan, who is dubious of Tempo's belief that it will be a hit, calling it the most embarrassing thing the two of them had ever recorded.
Really?
When the A-side of the record, Paradise, flopped, Erdogan relented and the song achieved notability as the longest-running hit B-side, a title it carried for 21 years. I'm trying to think, what was the other side of the Beatles' Ticket to Ride? Yes, it is?
I'll wait for Chicken Neck.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is a great song. You never hear it, though.
But it's very good.
But it is great. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Music journalist Richie Unterberger has described the later song All Strung Out as Nino Tempo and April Stevens' greatest triumph. Never heard of it. Declaring it one of the greatest Phil Spector-inspired productions of all time. All Strung Out. You got it? No.
Looking.
For years following their charting singles, the duo continued recording, but failed to achieve continued sales success. In other words, they became a big, fat flop. just like Josh Friedman. They became a big, fat flop. Oh, what exciting news about the morning show across the street, if true. Coming at ya. Oh, you think that Sid had a bad number, which he did. This number will definitely start with a oh, and then a second number might be a oh. Wow.
It's a mad world.
It's a mad sports world, baby.
Oh, Neil. You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Well, here we go again. I am Osama bin Laden, and whenever I am in Miami, I listen to Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
Absolutely.
Oh, the white folks hate the black folks, and the black folks hate the white folks. To hate all but the right folks is an old established rule, but during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week, Lena Horne and Sheriff Clark are dancing cheek to cheek. It's fun to eulogize the people you despise, as long as you don't let them in your school. Oh, the poor folks hate the rich folks, and the rich folks hate the poor folks. All of my folks hate all of your folks. It's American as apple pie. But during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week, New Yorkers love the Puerto Ricans 'cause it's very chic. Step up and shake the hand of someone you can't stand. You can tolerate him if you try. Oh, the Protestants hate the Catholics, and the Catholics hate the Protestants, and the Hindus hate the Muslims, and everybody hates the Jews. But during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week, it's national everyone smile at one anotherhood week. Be nice to people who are inferior to you. It's only for a week, so have no fear. Be grateful that it doesn't last all year.
Oh, look at that Dow. It's up 316 points. Let's have a big, big party in the streets. Now, wait till you hear this.
Wait, before that.
What?
Who was that original Deep Purple by that you were talking about?
Hoagie Carmichael.
Okay. I'm still looking.
I think. I mean, I could be wrong. No, and there was also that one by Billy Ward and the Dominoes.
All right.
That was great.
I'm looking for every version.
You know who else sang Deep Purple? I think the Platters. Or do they sing Stardust?
Hang on, let me fire something off here.
Fire it. You're fired.
Give it a minute. Give it a second.
Okay, now, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
I've always wondered this all my life, but it's almost too embarrassing to ask anybody. But I guess if you watch those movies from like the 30s and 40s, and you'll notice that the way people spoke, women in particular, was very affected. You know what I mean by that?
Yes.
Is that how people really spoke?
That's a very good question because it could have been just something they were doing for the movie, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll have to ask some old guy that was alive in those days.
Oh, much older than me. And if so,
why?
Yeah.
Like in Dracula, Mina, oh Mina. You know, the way
I'm pretty sure it was dramatic, melodramatic.
No,
I
think that's the way they spoke. Nothing
Really?
could be Nita.
Did they really wear those hats?
Than to have a date with Mita. What kind of names are those? Mita and Mina? And
I don't know. Foreign?
One of the parking spots I rented in this building was from a British lady, and her name was Mita.
And she was looking at the parking meter?
Yeah, that must have been it. And she's gone. Once she's gone, she's long gone. Then I had to go and rent another one from somebody else. Pain in the ass. Here's a guy that just, although it does say, P.S. Great show last Thursday. I have 2 words for Rick Shaw. Go to hell. That's 3 words. Jorge Hernandez. He says, I heard you talk about watching the Godfather movies this weekend. I'm probably one of the few people who has not seen Godfather 1 and 2. Yeah, you're the one.
Why?
I saw Godfather 3 at a theater and hated it.
Yeah?
I'm afraid to waste another 6 hours of my life on the first 2 movies. I think you and I might have completely opposite taste in movies. Now, wait, when you hear this,
all right,
you might slide a little bit off the edge of the chair.
All right, let me put my seatbelt back on.
I think you and I might have completely opposite taste in movies. I rented Fatso and Network based on your recommendations and hated both of them.
Cornish Talvin.
How can you hate Fatso or Network? And both?
I was going to suggest.
Really frost my ass. In fact,
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. Oh!
I was going to suggest to this person, don't let number 3, ruin the other 2 for you.
No, if he hated Network and Fatso, he probably wouldn't like Godfather 1 and 2.
But yes.
His taste is in his tuchus. He says, I just heard the stadium deal is done. Only 3 votes against the site. Too bad that tourist tax could have been used for edumacation. Last night I went to eat at Sweet Tomatoes in Pembroke Pines, and my kids saw 2 old ladies, possibly from the Century Village Brigade, stuffing mini muffins into their purses, which had Glad Ziploc bags. Unreal. My kids felt sorry for them and said maybe they were poor. I told them they weren't taking the muffins because they're poor. They stole those muffins because they figure the world owes them those muffins. Attaboy, Jorge, you're right. First, they start with a sweet and low. They put all those people out of business, Pumpernicks and Wolfies and all those other people. They put them out of business, and now they're working on everybody else. All you old, this is a new generation of sweet and low stealers. How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
See, what I've told you years ago, I remember saying it many, many times, and I've kept to my word. Back when I was in my 30s and 40s, and I said no matter how old I live to be, I'm never going to be like those people. And here I am, a senior citizen officially, 66, and no way do I go to early bird dinners. Do I steal stuff off the table in restaurants? No way.
Not yet.
No chance. No chance in my pants. Your friend P.R. Ralph says, ladyfingers. Oh, several people, thank you, said ladyfingers. Now, isn't that what they use in making tiramisu?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mascarpone cheese, ladyfingers, and whatever else they stick in there. Oh, man, that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And P.R. Ralph says, tell Ricky Ticky that a man in your position can afford to look ridiculous. Yeah. Hey, Ricky Ticky, a man in my position can afford to look ridiculous. That's what's his name said? Jack Waltz. Waltz. This is the business we have chosen.
I didn't ask.
And that man was Mo Greene. There's not even a plaque in that city with his name on it. He had an eye for the news, though, Mo. Momentarily. And I think it was just a coinky-dink that he put his glasses on to see who was coming in the door when he was getting massaged.
I think who was it that shot him? Which one?
Wasn't it Willie Chichi?
Yeah, that's right. I think it was awfully kind of Willie to wait for Mo to put his glasses on so that he could see what was about to happen.
So he could see the bullet coming.
Hey, Mo, look at this.
A chance to turn away like Bush with the shoe, in Iraq.
Check this out.
2 dead people. Well, can you believe it's 12:07? I'm only getting to the dead people now. Must have had a power-filled show the first 2 hours.
That's right. Just flew by.
Dow up 307. There's Suzanne Malveaux. Suzanne. That's one thing about Bush. He actually said that to her. Used to be Susan, now you're Suzanne. Suzanne Malveaux. Talk about affected. Talk about fake. Scott in Pinellas Park says Jackie Gleason did a good instrumental of Deep Purple as well. Jackie Gleason did an instrumental?
What did he play it on?
I don't know. He played the fat keys on the piano. I have no idea. So you don't have no Hoagie Carmichael. Nobody knows about that because we don't have anybody that old.
I'll keep looking.
Well, we probably do, but they don't have no computer.
Boca Brian says it goes all the way back to the Glenn Miller days.
Yeah, the 40s, like I said. Well, what about that one you played there by Artie Lang and Howard Stern?
That was 40s if it was a minute.
Yeah. You could tell by the opening bridge there.
The muted trumpets.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's exactly correct. How come they don't do that no more?
Because it sounds awful.
Oh. Now that they have all this techno-pop crap and all this. I mean, some of it was pretty good for a while there. How about that Britney?
How about
I'll tell you one thing. She's got that hot guy in that video. I'll say
this
that.
This portion of the show brought to you by Britney Spears the JJ. Oh! It's hanging out, y'all.
Oh. Well, I'm sure it's sad that I missed that concert. Paco said it was great. Sensational. They had seats right close by the stage, like I think in the front row. Don't even ask how much they cost. And I was up 314 points. People are starving to death. And there are people spending fortunes on tickets to see some
you
marginally talented bitch. What? You what?
You are spending fortunes.
Yeah, it's true. Well, that's okay. I mean, I make money. I got to spend it. I'm helping. The economy is off source, man. People like me are still spreading around that cash. I think as far as my vacation time, I'm starting this week's now.
Right.
No, actually, it has been pretty good. We got off to a slow start there, but thanks to Ricky Ticky for rekindling all that debate about those stupid phone calls. I think he was just looking to give me some material.
There you go.
I checked that MySpace thing. He never responded. He's one of those guys who gets on the MySpace thing once about every 3-4 months.
Probably.
Like most people. Although most of my MySpace people, they don't get on at all anymore. That's okay. Oh, here's an attachment. The forwarded message follows, and it's an attachment. And guess what I just did to it?
Deleted it?
Yes. Uh-huh. What part of that don't they understand? I don't open attachments. I don't click on links. I don't have the time to potchkey around. Don't you get it? The Dow's up 322.
In order to make sure that families can get basic consumer loans, auto loans.
You notice how they're trying desperately to make him a failure before he basically gets started?
Immediately.
Just like they did with Bubba. This is what the right-wingers do, man. From the minute they get in there, in fact, even before he got inaugurated. Oh, well, he's responsible for the failure, and Tim Geithner did this, and Chris Dodd did that, and blah, blah, blah. I still don't understand it. Now, they had a piece on Dateline last night. Did you see any of it?
No.
About the the housing bubble and about all these schleppers that were getting these loans for that they knew. You just look at some of these people. There's no way they can make those mortgage payments.
Right.
Just look at them. Schleppers. 709 votes on the poll. That's not bad. That is not bad. I think once they blew out Sid the Kid across the street, that was a bad mistake. As bad as he was, if they're going to put on, coming at you, if they're going to really do that. And I guess what they're doing is they're replacing him by committee. Don't you hate when they do stuff like that?
I don't understand.
When they, audition people on the air and they tried this one for a couple of days. Oh,
please.
That is such an admission
what are you expecting? Real
mismanagement. Mismanagement.
In this town?
God, this business is in the toilet, but in this market, it's got its own special tank. So tanks a lot. That's what they do across the street. They tank a lot. What is the worst thing about television today? That's a crappy poll. I want to change it. If I got another one on there to change, let me send one to Eric to change it. You think Eric is there?
Yeah.
I doubt it. Oh, Willie Chi-Chi did not shoot Mo Greene. Chi-Chi shot the guy in a revolving door in New York.
Oh, yeah. Then who
Cuneo.
shot Mo?
What?
Oh, Cuneo?
Wasn't that Cuneo? Who
no,
was it?
Who shot Mo? That doesn't sound right.
Who
now
shot
we're going to have to
Mo
look
Greene?
it up. I thought it was Chi-Chi.
Who shot Mo Greene? That's the question. I bet you Brandon knows if anybody does. Maybe he's out to lunch. Anyway, let me pick a poll to replace this one. I hate this poll. Ray says, the main reason I stay with my husband is my wife or husband. Oh, that's a good one. The main reason I stay with my wife or husband is blank. I'm sure you'll find a choice on there.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay, Eric's got it. The worst thing about television today, reality shows winning hands down. 363 votes, over 51% of the vote. Reality shows my ass. Can you believe it? One thing about all the reality shows, you know what they share in common? There is no reality on any of them.
Right. Al Neary?
Neary shot
in the novel. I'm verifying if they did it the same way in the movie.
Well, of course they would. Why would they change that?
Because they do things like that all the time.
Not in the movie, not in The Godfather.
I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
So I think, because I just Googled Mo Greene gets shot.
Right.
And I read all about it. And you're right, in the novel, it was Al Neary who shot him. But in the movie, I don't think it was.
Actually,
because Al Neary was the cop.
Right. Al Neary had him
make-believe
killed.
Cop who pulled a limo driver over and he was writing him a ticket. Remember?
Right. In the book, Al Neary had him mugged and killed. He didn't even do it himself. I'm just reading that right now.
I'll be damned. Kathy says Al Neary was the one dressed as a cop. He shot Barzini, didn't he? That's correct. In the back. You know, like that. He shot the bodyguard. He shot the driver, the limo driver, Barzini's driver. And as Barzini was running back up the stairs, he bent down on one knee and shot. Good aim, by the way.
Yes.
I'm sure it was Chi-Chi who, remember he went and got a shave?
That's what I'm thinking.
And then he came and...
but we need a second opinion. We need to verify it.
Yeah, we need somebody to... well, I'm telling you. One of our Godfather experts, Brandon or somebody, will know who shot Mo Greene. I wasn't angry.
You're right. I didn't ask.
I said to myself, this is the business we have chosen. He was so damn good. Who was the actor again? He's dead?
Lee Strasberg.
Lee Strasberg, right. Was he related to Lee J. Cobb or Eddie Cobb?
Coronado.
Eddie Cobb and Genghis Khan on the outside. Here he comes. Adam Oshmuck in Kitchen Waterloo says, the chair you're sitting in could kill you. In an accident that can only be described as a freak occurrence, a 14-year-old boy in China was killed when the chair he was sitting in exploded.
Huh.
The accused chair... I wonder if they're going to put the chair on trial. The accused chair was one of those fancy types with a gas cylinder that's used to adjust the height of the chair up and down.
Right, like this one.
Really? Mm-hmm. Does that have a gas cylinder?
Yes.
Does?
Yes.
Oh, George's chair is going to blow up. Wow. Plane nosedives into cemetery. 7 adults and 7 children killed in Canada. Wasn't that in Montana?
What?
The plane nosediving into the cemetery.
Yes, it was.
Well, you could say it was convenient. I mean, that would be very insensitive to say that.
Sure.
In this case, it seems that we'll give the chair. When the cylinder exploded, it sent shards of metal into the boy's
rectum.
Ass. Yes?
Ow.
The death was marked down as excessive bleeding from his wounds. A similar episode in China as well occurred in 2007, but a 68-year-old man survived that exploding chair. Beware the exploding chair. Oh, look at that plane crash. Not good.
Bounced at least twice on that runway, then veered to the left, then exploded there. The flight was coming in from China. Airport officials say wind shear may have been a factor.
Coming in from China. All the bad things come from China. SARS, bird flu, exploding chairs. It says in this story you might want to give that chair you're sitting in a once-over to see where it was made, or at least put in for an exchange to be on the safe side. Where do you think your chair was made?
Probably China, isn't everything?
I got to get a new chair. This chair is like 7 years old. And I had to go and buy this and put it all together because Bob Vermouth left me with an old green musty chair with arms on it. I think it's in my bedroom. The most uncomfortable, and I felt like I was sitting on the floor, and I practically was. You know what I'm talking about? Those old chairs?
No.
With arms?
No.
Yeah, like an old sofa chair. Like
not even like a rolling chair or anything like that?
No.
Just like some living room chair?
Well, exactly. That's the kind of chair he had sitting here, Bob Vermouth.
Oh, how gay.
How tragic. Kind of like the way he left the situation in Amsterdam when he bailed out of there. That Amsterdam engineer, he would like to kill Bob Vermouth if he ever seen him again. In fact, I'll tell you, easier than that, we would have taken him to another meal in Amsterdam. That would have done it. We had that one meal. Oh, it was so luscious. Oh, God. The Dutch, they're the Dutch. ABC News radio anchorman found dead. George Weber, 50, found dead in apartment. Police suspect homicide. Veteran ABC radio newscaster George Weber. Did you ever hear him? I didn't.
No.
Has been found dead in his Brooklyn, New York apartment in what police believe was a homicide. Police responded to a missing person call at 9 a.m. Sunday, found Weber, 50, in his apartment with a wound to his neck a wound to his neck. Emergency medical services responded to the scene, pronounced him dead. An investigation into Weber's death is ongoing. No arrests have been made. We are shocked and deeply saddened by the death of our colleague and friend, George Weber, who was the victim of what police have deemed a homicide at his home in Brooklyn, said Steve Jones, VP and GM of ABC News Radio. An investigation has been launched by NYPD, and we've been assisting them, he added. Our condolences and prayers go out to George's family and friends at this very difficult time. According to the New York Post, there were no signs of forced entry into Weber's apartment. Police source said the bathtub spigot was running, and neighbors said the apartment had been ransacked. The spigot was running.
What'd you call me?
You think Freeway was there? If the spigot was running, maybe the assailant took off on the freeway. George Weber was a lifelong fan of radio, Jones said in a statement. He was a consummate journalist, successful radio career in New York at WABC, Los Angeles at, where? KTLK and KMPC, San Francisco at KGO Radio, which is a great station, by the way, and Denver at KOA. While in New York, George was part of the highly successful Curtis and Kuby WABC morning show, where he remained until early 2008. It was then that he joined ABC News Radio as a freelance anchor. His last newscast was last Sunday, March 15th, and now he's dead. Weber's blog was updated Friday morning with a post detailing his past bouts with bed bugs and praising Mayor Bloomberg for creating a bed bug advisory council. Bed bugs. Now, what's the difference between bed bugs and dust mites?
I'm not sure.
Well, why not? I got dust mites.
I don't know.
And, man, they make you itch.
You might.
And you can't see them. And then you, like, boil your bedding. You know, you change the bedding and you wash it in a real hot wash.
Boiling water.
And then they come back, they come back for more. Dust mites. I think they multiply faster than Chinese and maybe even faster than Muslims. Boy, you talk about people who multiply. And probably one of the reasons they put those burqas, those things over the women's faces, is because probably a lot of them are so ugly that they wouldn't be able to keep up the reproduction rate if they could see the face. But when the woman's face is... Now, you think they go to bed with a covering over their puss?
I wouldn't know.
Oh.
But I doubt it.
Never done no Muslim chicks, huh?
No, not lately.
Oh, you're the one.
Oh, Neil! You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Well, here we go again.
In India, we like to drink soda that has some fizz. But now we guzzle funky stuff that's made with bovine whiz. I'd like to teach the world to drink a glass of some cow pee. You'll never go back to drinking Coke, 'cause cow urine's tasty. It's the real deal. Cow pee. Go drink some today. It is very salty. It's the real deal.
It is very salty.
Ask your grocer about diet cow.
Yeah, diet cow pee is really good. 1232 at 560 WQAM. The fake Joe Bell says dust mites bite the feet, bed bugs bite the ass. Well, he ought to know, because if anybody's got a big target for those bed bugs. These lights are going out on my mic thing here.
What thing is that?
They're flickering, on my mic on the board.
Oh, yeah, well.
The on-off lights.
Tell me about it.
But I don't mind. I mean, so if I don't know the mic is on, what difference does it make?
No, then it'll just be way more interesting that way.
Phil Ark says, I see why you hate the Herald. Oh, he's finally coming around, huh? Been a 33-year hate affair between me and the Herald. And I'm still on the air while the Herald is busy laying everybody off and et cetera. And on the verge. And he sends me a column that somebody else had sent me, the puff piece about Ron and Paul that Glenn Garvin wrote. I mean, what a suck job that article is. Just pathetic. Phil says, read this piece of crap over the weekend on the Herald. I, for one, will support Bubba just because of reading this article. He'll support Bubba. I don't know who the reporter is, but he's a major league ass licker with very limited information and tastes, whatever. Calls it one of the most controversial and successful shows in the market for the past 20 years. My ass, says Phil Ark. The article is longer, but this is the essence of this piece. Yeah, I got it already. I already said I'm not promoting Paul and old Ron, okay? I'm not reading a whole big puff piece by Glenn Garvin. P.S. He says John ZTR is overrated, which means he might be John ZTR.
Cute.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
Uh-huh.
Overrated crank. Here's the other dead person over the weekend. Eddie Bo.
Who?
Dies at 78. Blues singer, pianist, and songwriter. Bo penned the 1960 Etta James hit My Dearest Darling and I'm Wise, which was made famous by Little Richard when he renamed it and released it in 1956 as Slippin' and Slidin'. You got that, Little Richard, Slippin' and Slidin'?
Looking it up now.
I bet you got Tutti Frutti, Rudy. Maybe you got it by Pat Boone. Pat Boone, oh. Eddie Bo, a New Orleans blues singer-pianist who worked with musicians such as Irma Thomas and Art Neville, died Wednesday of a heart attack, according to his booking agent, Kieran Hamilton. He was 78. Eddie Bo, whose real name was Edwin Joseph Bocage, was an accomplished keyboard pianist with a career spanning more than 5 decades. As a songwriter, he penned the 1960 Etta James hit My Dearest Darling and I'm Wise, which was made famous by Little Richard as Slippin' and Slidin'. You got it? No.
No.
Bocage released more than 50 singles in his career, including Check Mr. Popeye in 1962. Check Mr. Popeye. What does that mean? That was probably his biggest hit, said friend and musician Gregory Davis, a trumpet player for the Dirty Dozen brass band. That song kept him working a long time. He toured with singers earlier in his career as Joe Turner, Lloyd Price, and the late Ruth Brown, Earl King. But he spent most of his career with New Orleans musicians, among them soul singer Thomas, R&B singer Robert Parker, and singer-keyboardist Neville, the eldest of the Neville brothers. And it goes on and on. He was born in New Orleans, September 20th, 1930. And now he's dead. It goes on about his home got messed by Katrina. And yada, yada, yada. After the hurricane, he also recorded a version of the traditional New Orleans song, When the Saints Go Marching In, for Our New Orleans, a CD that benefited Habit for Humanity's efforts to rebuild New Orleans and the Gulf Coast. When the Saints Go Marching In. He's dead. Eddie Bo. Did you feel bad about that?
A little bit.
What about Bo Griffin? How's she doing?
Oh, I haven't spoken to her lately.
She's still alive? How about her and Joe Costello? Are they still fighting and feuding?
No.
No? Now, when's the last time you spoke to Joe?
A few months ago.
That was up 331. 311. Yeah, and?
And nothing. It was before that. Yeah. It was before that gig. Didn't he get canceled or something? Didn't we get some
canceled
news about
on
that?
What?
On XM or something like that? Or
He did?
I don't know. Didn't we get some news? You read a story about that.
No, it wasn't on XM. It was on across the street. They can't afford to carry a show.
Oh,
they were paying for
okay.
it.
That's it. That's what it was.
They can't afford anything. But they can afford coming at ya. Seriously, if he goes on in the morning, I will kiss this microphone. I will get down on my hands and knees and kiss the edge of the board here.
Well, put some alcohol on it first.
Oh, my
you don't know where
God.
It's been.
Can you imagine? Could they be that stupid?
Yeah.
To put him on in morning drive?
Yes.
Well, I got nobody else.
Yeah,
Maybe they could bring Mifo over. He could even do better than that .3. Now, won't that be something? Guaranteed if they put coming at you in the morning, there will be 2 sports shows in Morning Drive that both start with even if Mifo goes to 9:40, which I doubt. He's happy over there at 6:40. Mifo. Mr. Insecure. Him and Greg Budell. Who's the most insecure? .3. And the Jerks, I'm sure, can do a .1. Or worse. He could do a number that starts with a minus. Well, we are trying to unravel a real mystery here. We've discovered one. Kathy says Willie Chi-Chi killed the guy in the revolving door. That was Cuneo.
Okay.
Wasn't it?
All right. I'm not saying I know. I'm saying
she says, I don't think the guy who pops Mo Greene ever faces the camera. That is not correct.
We know who it is.
Who is it?
No. In the movie, they show him. They might not show him while he's shooting him.
Sure they do. They don't?
I don't know. Willie Chi-Chi, remember, he had that maniacal look in his eyes. So yeah, the revolving door thing, sure, why not? But we still don't know.
That was either Cuneo or Stracci.
We still don't know who shot Mo.
Who shot Mo?
Greene.
Oh, from your mouth to God's ass.
Who did Mo?
Greene. You think God has an ass? Now that's something to think about.
If he wants
He created man in his own image.
Right.
He must have an ass, and I wonder if God ever has wild, bad diarrhea.
Only if he wants to.
Oh.
He's God, after all.
Rob says, Neil, I don't normally eat ice cream, but since listening to your show, I've been buying more and more. Oh, yeah, blame it on me. And here comes the question of the century. In your opinion, what is the top flavor I should try, and by whom? Do you think I'm going to respond to that?
Go ahead.
I'm not going to do it. How do I know what this person likes, you know? I mean, I could say Fish Food by Ben & Jerry's.
Rocky Road, man.
Rocky Road by just about anybody. I love that. I'll tell you, what you call it? Who's the 33 flavors?
Baskin Robbins?
Bastard Robbins makes a great Rocky Road.
Yeah, they do.
You can't go wrong with Rocky Road. With some nice hot fudge on it. Whipped cream, a little maraschino cherry. And be sure and drink all the juice out of the maraschino cherry jar after you've, eaten all the cherries.
That's right, to be a real pig.
Just drink that juice like water. God. Here's one that says, I don't believe in God, but I believe in ghosts. Do you? Oh, yeah. And if I could read you the name that this person made up, I can't do it. It's funny, but I can't read it. Here's one that says, I watched The Ruins on HBO the other day. It was a little too gory for my taste. It's gory. I also found it a little confusing about who was German and who was Greek. Not that it made much difference. I guess it was the ridiculously fake accents that threw me. I also caught the movie The Skeleton Key on USA Network. You see that? Never heard of it.
No.
I thought it was pretty scary. It was more of a suspense mystery horror movie with a surprise ending. But the most disturbing movie I've seen in years was the story of Ed Gein on the IFC channel.
Oh.
Ed Gein?
Yeah.
Now, which mass murderer was he? He was the lotion in the basket.
Yeah, he would skin his victims, make skin suits, things like that.
This was a fact-based movie about the infamous serial killer Ed Gein. He was the inspiration for Buffalo Bill, Norman Bates, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They stuck to the actual facts of the story. Oh, this is Cliff and Kendall. In addition, they were able to portray what Ed Gein was thinking at the time based on the 30 years of psychological evaluations he had been given while locked up in the loony bin. I don't scare easily, but I had nightmares for 3 days after watching that movie. What's the name of it?
I think it was Ed Gein is the name of the movie.
The Story of Ed Gein.
If we're talking about the same movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll creep you out.
Well, let me ask you, how you been, Ed Gein? So he was Buffalo Bill, huh?
Yes. Wait.
Yes.
You know what I haven't played in a long time?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
I'll find it, if I can find it.
Go ahead.
Here it is.
What is a Buffalo Bill?
I don't know.
And when you come right down to it,
who created?
Who's going to give Ricky a blow?
This is Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. I'm interested in getting some operations done.
Okay.
And some body contouring and some liposuction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you get some tummy tuck and lip augmentation, cosmetic breast surgery, facelift, all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering...
What would you like to start with?
Well, I need to get everything done. Probably the first thing I'd like to have removed is my thing.
Okay, we don't do that.
No. Could you do breast implants, though?
It can be done, but I don't know that they would do it right away.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
$5,000.
Excellent. I'd like to have my skin resurfaced, too.
Mm-hmm.
Laser surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Have the lambs stopped crying yet, Mommy?
Excuse me?
Don't hurt Mommy's little baby. It puts the lotion in the basket. I'd like to get the liposuction that I saw on TV.
Okay.
Can you make me look more like a woman?
Well, we'll have to see you first, and then upon looking at you, we can tell you that when we see you.
Should I wear my skin suit made of body parts, Mommy?
If you'd like to.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Would you like to make an appointment?
Yes.
Okay. There is a $100 consultation fee.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
My name is Buffalo Bill.
Okay, let me get a little
Mommy.
information from you, okay? Just
Mommy.
one moment.
It
right?
puts the lotion in the basket.
I understand.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Do you want to come in for a consultation for
It
life?
puts the lotion in the basket.
Okay. Would you like to make an appointment, or do you want to call me back? Or?
It puts the lotion in the basket.
I understand.
I've got my skin suit nipple necklace.
Bill.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
I understand that. Would you like to
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Would you like to make an appointment?
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Okay, I will talk to you another time, okay?
It puts the lotion in the basket. Hello?
Goodbye. Oh, here's one from Stephen Alexander who says, just as expected, you don't actually read any emails which oppose your view and actually prove you wrong. Such as what? Such as what? Well, what emails did I read?
That's the end of it?
That's it.
I expect a list of examples after that.
Or not a list. How about one? Such as. Now, let's see, getting back to Chuck in Chicago. Finally resurfaces here. I guess he got tired of me calling him a chronic, which he was. Don't think it's clear who killed Mo Greene. They just show the guy's back when he opens the door, and Mo puts on the glasses. Chi-Chi killed Cuneo in the revolving door.
Right.
Clemenza killed Strachey in the elevator.
Right.
And I often wonder, how did Clemenza, when he pressed the button for the elevator, how did he know that they were going to be in there at that moment?
Listen, if we're going to start on that, because he also ran up all them stairs, too.
Yeah.
Fat as he was.
Well, he needed the exercise.
Surprised he didn't.
Rocco and somebody else killed Tattaglia, and the woman in his hotel bed. Neri killed Bazzini. Even in the script, they just say a gunman kills Mo Greene. How do you like that, a gunman?
Huh.
To be named later. Thanks, Chuck. Okay, change the poll.
Who shot Mo
Yeah, you know,
Greene?
read emails at this rate, such as what? Give me a for instance. Give me an example, Stephen fake emailer. So I changed the poll. And we need to add to this new one, don't have one, wife or spouse, whatever.
Doing it now.
Good. What's the worst thing about TV today? 753 votes. Reality shows 383. Poker show 64. Cable news 61. I don't watch TV 52. Yeah, sure. Lack of quality game shows like the old days 36. Daytime talk shows 28. Entertainment shows 28. Too many channels 27. Nothing wrong with TV 23. The sitcoms 23. God, do they suck. The dramas and all their spin-offs like Law & Order and CSI 16. Not enough channels 12. Yeah, I'm on a cable. I got only 800 and some odd channels here. In fact, maybe it's. I don't know. You want me to see? Let me go to channel 1 and then back, and then back up. Oh, for crying out loud! I never go. Well, channel 1 is the 998 is the lobby watch channel. You can see who's coming and going in the lobby, although it's not working right now. There's no picture. Lobby watch channel is out. So I've got 990 channels. Not enough channels. I have no idea what's on so many. That would be a good thing to do some weekend. Although a lot of the channels are music.
Red Baron Premium Blonde Lager. The clear choice in the clear glass bottle.
Music.
Scan Australian Love Affair. Tonight at 9.
Wow. 97.3 Easy Rock Toronto.
97.3. It's today's new Easy Rock. This is Daryl Henry on your 80s lunch. 870-0973. The number. We'll be giving away two U2 tickets all week long on the 80s lunch. And now let's go to the phones. Hi, Easy Rock. What do you want to hear today?
Rupert Hall's Pina Colada.
Oh, Escape, the Pina Colada song. The last #1 song of the 1970s and the first #1 song in the 80s.
Yes, it is.
And it's on the 80s lunch. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Oh. Is there anybody in the world who hates that song more than I do? That's just a horrible song.
Me?
Do you?
We could have a contest about it.
So Fredo is having a couple of drinks with Michael there at that outdoor place in Havana.
Yeah. Wearing them shoes he's got up on the chair, propped up there, sitting like a
And
dork.
he says, how do you say banana daiquiri? And he says a banana daiquiri.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Fredo, what a genius, huh?
He was a cut-up.
I'm smart.
Not like people say.
The main reason I stay with my wife or husband is, this is the new poll. We got 13 votes already. I don't have 3. I really enjoy his or her company, 2. We're best friends, 2. For the kids, 2. I'm long gone, baby, 1. That's a good question, 1. I need a place to live, 1. Great cook, 1. And none yet for everything is in his or her name. I can't afford to leave. His or her income. Great sex. None for great sex. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean with them, but, you know.
Right.
In your case.
Right.
Dow's up 311. Aren't you impressed?
Nah.
Why not? That's because you don't have any stock. Whatever happened to those little diddly stocks you had there for a while?
I quit while I was ahead.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
And how are they now?
That's gone. I got out of that.
No, I don't mean that, but I mean, how are the stock prices?
No, I haven't checked that stuff in a long time.
Well, why not? Come on, man.
I can only imagine. Oh, no. Out of sight and out of mind, and thank goodness.
I'm Googling Mo Greene gets shot in the eye again.
Good luck with that. I Googled it every which way. I asked the question every way I could think of.
And
nothing. A lot of references to it, but nobody, no
says is it supposed to symbolize something?
Yeah. A lot of conversation, a lot of discussion, a lot of forums.
It seems to be very significant. This is on some chat thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Mo Greene getting shot in the eye symbolizes anything. I think it was just a gruesome way of killing him. The shot through the eye is based on the killing of a real-life mobster in the mid-'40s, Bugsy Siegel. When he got killed, he was shot. No, he was not shot through the eye. He was shot in the head. He was not shot through the eye.
The Wikipedia has a whole thing on that. He was shot several times
in the head.
In the back of the head, and one of the shots went out through his eye.
Oh, went out through the front of the eye.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder which hurts more, going in or coming out.
I don't know. I bet you the distinction is subtle.
Bugsy Siegel. Well, of course, he was, Hyman Roth was Meyer Lansky, and Mo Greene was Bugsy Siegel.
Right.
What did you think about that? 24 votes. I already just read it on the new poll. Boy, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. George was a fantastic radio man for WABC, says somebody, Harry. He had a perfect voice for news, was very entertaining. Word on the street was that, oh, no, apparently his murderer was an angry lover. Says, you ferry boys know what I'm talking about. Woohoo from Brooklyn, says Harry. How do you like that? In other words, he was
gay.
An angry boyfriend shot him and killed him. Oh, here's Steve Rondinero says, I think Sally or Rick shot Mo Greene. That's good. Very good. Oh, here we go. Stephen Alexander is back. He starts this one. How are you doing, Neil? So, in other words, maybe this is what I was supposed to read before that I didn't read, and I just got it. You think?
It's possible.
And he sends it twice, just to make sure. Well, after the break, we're going to read it twice. In fact, maybe we'll read it all the way to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Hey, we're watching the game. I need another 5 points to cover the spread.
May the best woman win.
Now, here's how to win. And it's easy.
I believe I'm going to win.
In a short time, you may be a winner.
He's a real winner.
You and the office crowd know the Final Four is going down. And you're hoping you're that someone to grab the cash and claim the pool. Well, I guess if you win moolah, you did good for yourself. Well, some use statistics now. And picking random could be wise. Gambling experts just might tell you it's better to go with choosing upsets. Or just guess that might be smarter. Hell, it's worth a try. You ain't done anything at work yet. You're too busy filling brackets out. When March Madness comes around,
no more fooling around. I gotta get back to work.
What's wrong with you? Get busy.
101 and 560 to show you what a bunch of malcontents we got out there. The Stephen Alexander guy, I already had his previous email in my pile and I was going to get to it.
Oh, you didn't get to it fast enough, bud.
That's right. That's why he assumes automatically, oh, you won't read it because, and so he sends it to me 2 more times.
Well, good. Read it 3 times then now, total.
And when you hear it, it's just, somebody says Mama Cass also sang Deep Purple. Well, good for her. Have another sandwich, honey.
Wow. Collect them all.
So, Stephen, his original email was South Florida Fishing and Joe Bell. How you doing, Neil? A couple of days ago, you had Joe Bell on the air for a few seconds. I was pleasantly surprised because the man that came on the radio that day was a complete opposite of the vile beast that you've been portraying for years. Not only did he sound like a nice guy, but he sounded humble, too. And something to say he sounded scared, too. Scared of you. Just wondering if anybody else in the audience picked up the same thing I did. For years now, I've been theorizing that you see things your way, but this cements it. I see things my way. Doesn't everybody see things their way?
That's the last time I checked.
If you're alive, you see things your way. I don't see things your way, Stephen, because I don't know you and I don't really care. I'll give you another example of my biggest gripe with you as a listener. I disagree with your hate for South Florida. You can complain about whatever you want. You have that right. But I don't think you get what South Florida is about. It's like if someone goes to see The Godfather and then complains there aren't enough explosions. When George told you last week that some people moved to Florida to fish, you were confused about it because I think in your mind you can't understand that someone would spend their time fishing. Yes, some people love fishing. I might hate to break the news to you, Steve, but my father was in the fishing tackle business in upstate New York on Canandaigua Lake. And we used to go fishing all the time. We had a boat. Used to go fishing all the time. Oh, no. It's a great hobby and requires skill. Florida's a piece of land surrounded by water. Why not go fishing? I don't want to. That's why. I don't want to. Not my idea of sticking a hook in the water and waiting until some fish comes along and bites on it and it goes down into its throat and bleh. In addition to which, I don't eat fish anyway, so why should I want to go fishing? Your perception of reality is just wrong. I bet 9 out of 10 people would agree with me, rather fish instead of gambling like you. Oh, so in other words, if I don't agree with what I want to do with my spare time, that makes me a bad person. We all have to goose step into line with Stephen, and of course, that line about, for years now I've been theorizing that you see things your way, but this cements it. First of all, Joe Bell is a fat-ass, miserable person, okay, whose main goal in life is to make everybody else as miserable as he is. I hope you read this because if you have a legitimate response, I'll listen, but when people ask you why Florida is what it is, you just say it sucks. It does suck. The shopping here is great. Yeah, we took a poll on that the other day. Shopping got 1 vote. Everything is great. The weather is great. I love it here. You don't need to go shopping in Rome like you claim. Downtown Miami has it all nowadays. The best shops, the best food, the best of the best. You prove that merely inhabiting a place doesn't mean that you have lived there. Well, guess what? I lived there for almost 30 years, and I don't like it. It's got a lot of natural beauty. It has a lot of attributes. But the people, like you, Stephen, telling me what I should think and what I should do. If you enjoy fishing, gay gesundheit hate. Have a wonderful time.
So,
fish your brains out, yes?
You like it?
Yeah.
Just checking.
Checking what?
If you liked it.
No. And because I don't like it, therefore that makes me a bad guy or whatever it makes me. I don't know.
Glad you understand.
Good. And here's another malcontent.
Really? I'm shocked.
Oh, yeah. Hate for Muslims, question mark? This has got to be a make-believe.
Sure.
Baydar Madani at Life in Slow Motion. Oh. Dear Neil Rogers, I've never listened to your show except for a brief moment last week. I wanted to let you know how much you are offending people like me. It was on 3/19/09. A person, which I considered a friend till now, was giving me a ride somewhere and your station was on the radio. You were talking about certain things, which I will not even repeat here because my mouth is not as dirty as yours. I didn't have a problem with anything I was hearing until you started saying something about gas prices and oil. That's when the name-calling started. You mentioned the word towelhead around 5 times in less than 10 seconds. I don't say towelhead, I said raghead. I don't say towelhead. I am a Muslim and take great offense to this. Well, you take great offense to everything, no doubt, even cartoons. Even my friend felt uncomfortable with me in the car and listening to the filth that was coming out of the radio. I'm a Muslim, and maybe that isn't a big portion of your audience because there are so few of us here in Florida, but why offend an entire people like that? And obviously you have no sense of humor either, my Muslim friend. Fake. This is fake. This is probably, what's his name? John ZTR.
Probably.
In one sentence, you offended our religion and our race. If you don't know, it's a turban, not a towel, as you call it. When you say things like that, it shows ignorance and complete disregard for other cultures. You know what's sad? In the few months I've lived in the U.S., I've encountered very little racism. People sometimes stare, but that's expected. No one, though, has called me by any names. So I found it sad that my encounter with racism happened by listening to the radio. You don't know the kind of harm you're doing to people. When you get on the radio, do you also call black people the N-word? I hope not. Maybe it's okay to make fun of me because so few people will complain. I will never understand people like you. I hope you realize the words you put out there are heard by real people who are hurt by them. Yeah. Real people with no sense of humor if you're for real, which I doubt. As for my friend, if someone listens to a program that supports racism and hate for others, I don't know how we can continue our friendship. But I'd rather know who my true friends are. I hope you read this letter and realize how your words have power. And my ex-friend tells me this is standard fare on your show. His ex-friend. Bah! Bah! Oh, here's Stephen Alexander again. Hi, how you doing, Neil? I just read that. You know, I get that all the time. People send me an email, and, of course, during the course of the day, I build up a fairly sizable pile here, if I can say that. And I get to them when I can. And the earlier they come in, the later they usually get read because they go to the bottom of the pile. Jack says, you're right, Neil, the people here in South Florida are the rudest anywhere. Well, I don't know about anywhere, but they sure are rude and crude, unfriendly, nasty, angry, hostile. The Dow's up 297 points. And if you love it, I got these people that keep sending me all these pictures, you know, of Brickell and all. And great. It's not going to change my mind. It's kind of like I have to come around to their point of view and love all of what South Florida is becoming or whatever it is, or else. I love it here. I like the people. I don't like the weather in the wintertime, but the winter's basically over. Nothing is perfect. I don't like the driving here. It sucks. But I enjoy it. I like the restaurants. I just like the whole ambiance. I like where I live. And that's it. I think that makes a lot of people very unhappy.
Sure does.
Much rather, because there's an old saying that I think fits South Florida to a T. Misery loves company.
Right.
So if I don't want to be down there and share the misery, I was there long enough, believe me, a long, long time. A long time. And there are a lot of the people who are there, I don't want to mention George by name, who wish they could get out, who, if they could afford to, would be gone tomorrow. If they suddenly had a sack full of money.
Yep.
Gone tomorrow.
I'd certainly snowbird it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, live here all the time.
You'd snowbird it?
Yeah.
I think you see things as you see them. Well, what kind of a sentence was that? What did he say?
Idiotic. You see things the way you see them.
That's right.
We only
through
have
my own
our
eyes.
Own
Even Mo Greene saw things through his own eyes until one of them got shot out.
By who we don't know.
He suspected this for years, though, and now he's on to me. Because he heard Joe Bell say 3 or 4 words. Joe was busy eating, okay? We didn't have a conversation. He was busy eating. Chopping up our food on Thursday. Uninvited, by the way.
Well, I told Duff to just bring in the whole building. They brought a tray of stone crabs in here.
Well, you should have told him not Joe Bell. Not Joe Bell.
Nacho what? Nacho cheese?
Nacho Mama. Julio Robaina, the mayor of Hialeah, says, I love Bubba. Count me on the Bubba bandwagon. I listen to Heme while I sit in the morning Palmetto traffic. H-I-M-E. Heme. You listen to Heme?
No.
No. Julio is a real jackass, the mayor of Hialeah. Now, what are they going to have? Dog and pony show at Hialeah?
There you go. Dog and pony races.
Donkeys. Maybe you can get Paco to ride a donkey at Hialeah.
I heard he was good at riding ass.
I'm sure of that. Oh, Adam says, do you wash your turban, bro? You wash your turban. I do wonder about that.
I'm sure they do, like any other piece of laundry.
How do you know that?
I don't know, but I can only presume.
And do they have, designer turbans, for certain days of the week, like Mo with his hair pieces?
I've seen different colors, so maybe that is also the case.
And I got news for you. There's more Islamic people in my building right here than in all of South Florida, guaranteed. And they reproduce like rabbits.
Anti-Semite.
Yeah. Walking around with a string full of kids behind Mama with the burqa on, and she's got one in the oven. Perpetually. There's always one in the oven.
Maybe they like
I like nice people, okay? I don't like suicide bombers. I don't like extremists. I don't like people who try to push their crap, whether it's Farbisan Catholics or Orthodox Jews or suicide bombing Muslims. I don't like that. Here's one from Sergeant Stretchy Pants. I just wanted to say thank you to all the newspapers and TV stations that hyped up good old Mikey Phelps. All they did was encourage me to keep smoking the ganja, baby. If he can smoke and win gold medals, well, GD, it'll be okay, or I'll be okay, says Sergeant Stretchy Pants. One of your crowd.
I don't wear stretchy pants.
One of your pot-smoking degenerates. Oh, check out my photos on Facebook, says somebody. Delete, delete, delete.
Oh, Neil. You're
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Absolutely. Yes.
Everybody needs a beard, especially me.
You fairy.
Not a good idea to appear like a mincing queen.
Yay.
Blaming.
Essentially appeasing what the breeders fear by pretending that I'm not a queer. No one will ever know that I'm a homo. They'll just say he's married, you know. Holding back my passion for sports to now and then. Faking I like women more than watching men. I've got a beard, but inside I'm dying. Living a life that nobody's buying. Now I gotta live a life and act the part. But it's men that get me hard. I don't have the balls to admit I play gin ball.
You fairy.
I don't have the balls to admit I play gin ball. I don't have the balls to admit I play gin ball.
Y'all.
I just don't have the balls to admit I play gin ball.
Dow is up 336 points. Oh, let's have a big bash. What do you say?
All right.
Well, speaking of bash, here's one from Morning Train, fake email. And it says, you know what? The saddest part is of having blocked me. You lost the best emailer and contributor you ever had. You'll never have my ears ever again. George, go to hell. It's your fault, Neil, and I had this falling out. This time is for real. I may never come back. Now,
right.
This is either from Mr. Radio or Rooster Choo Choo or who knows which.
Remember, Rooster Choo Choo explained the name, that is what Morning Train means, is Rooster Choo Choo. In a previous
what do you mean
email,
by that?
Rooster crows in the morning, a choo-choo is a train. Morning train, Rooster Choo Choo.
Wow.
He explained that to
you. You and Shylock Holmes. What did he explain?
He explained it. You read the email.
Well, I don't pay much attention to his crap.
I don't pay any, and still I remember that.
Morning train, Rooster Choo Choo. Well, goodbye. Get lost. Oh, I'm going away. They threaten to go away, and then they still come back.
You're going to go away and make
Morning
an
train
email
my
address,
ass. Yeah. Get lost. Chronic complainer. Wah, wah. Always the same garbage, you know. Here's one. It says, I don't understand if the Tamil Tigers are recognized as a terrorist group by the Canadian government. Why do they allow their supporters to demonstrate openly? Would they allow Al-Qaeda supporters to demonstrate openly? Probably yes. Probably yes. Probably not. Certain groups, like in Afghanistan?
Yeah. Like the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Because they're killing too many Canadian soldiers. So, that gets them pissed off. Although they keep sending more and more of them over there to get butchered. But nevertheless. Yeah, see, this emailer doesn't understand. The Canadian government loves terrorists. My cab driver is always talking about that. That if you're like a clean-cut, clean-shaven, upstanding-looking person, and you come through immigration here, we're going to grill you and give us 40 pieces of ID. But if you look like you got a suicide bomb taped to your ass, come on in. Welcome to Canada.
Eh?
Yeah. How's it going, eh? Welcome to Canada. Go out and demonstrate in the streets and disrupt traffic and screw up the city. They never met a terrorist they didn't like here. Chester Copperpot, a.k.a. Jason, says, Happy Monday to you and George. I bought some Bluebell ice cream this weekend. It was on sale at Publix, so I took the plunge. I never had it before, but I had heard all the hype. I got the Neapolitan. Oh, what a horrible choice.
No kidding.
Vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. I figured that way I'd be able to try 3 flavors with one purchase. I was not impressed, although it was fairly smooth and creamy and had good flavor and nice pieces of strawberry. Definitely not in the category of Haagen-Dazs. The one thing I was really surprised about when I read the ingredient list, it contained high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup solids. No real sugar? I hope I killed some good time for you. I know your fat Jew ass loves food talk. And I'm sure Paco infested your place with fleas. Mexicans are notorious for being covered in them. Chester Copperpot. Yeah, sure. And chickens pee, too. How sad.
Yep.
And especially, what's his name, Morning Train?
Whatever.
How did you figure that out? I mean,
he explained it in an email, and you read
how
it.
Anybody could put such deductive forces to work. See, so you must have been listening to his crap. I was reading it, but not...
I was listening to you.
Yeah.
Sonny.
Oh. But it was his crap.
Right.
Bob in Cape Coral says, oh, this is good. I was a listener back in the 90s and moved to Fort Myers. Back then, your show was not so political. What happened? When's the last time we talked about politics on this show?
Politics?
Still love you, Neil. Just wish you'd stick to what's funny, like comedy and stuff. So Bob in Cape Coral must be a right-wing nut job or something.
Must be, yeah. Do the show his way, would you?
Yeah, that's right. Here's another guy with show instruction, critique, yada, yada, yada. Just wish you'd do it this way. I'll do it whatever the hell I want, Bob. Cape Coral my ass. Probably a blue-nosed redneck right-winger. Oh, and speaking of rednecks, I'm going to tell you, I decided last night that beyond the shadow of a doubt, there's one type of individual who offends me more than anything and anybody else in the world. You know what that is? You know that movie American History X?
Skinheads?
The fat skinhead friend, the real big fat.
Oh, yeah.
Now that was unacceptable.
Yeah.
He was just unacceptable on every level. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What I meant to say was...
Oh, yeah. Bill says, why not just screen the calls? Wasn't that George's job originally? Says Bill. Because when you screen the calls, it's the same people putting somebody else on the phone for them, and then when we put them on hold, I'm your friend. It doesn't do any good. So Bill must be buddies with Joe Bell. In addition to which, you're not going to have the capacity to screen the calls anyway.
Right.
Can you do it now?
I don't think so.
No. We don't have the technical ability to do that anymore. We used to. Stop pushing for the calls. I'm not taking calls. It's already 1:24. We only have 35 minutes left in the show today, and I got plenty of stuff piled up here. We were doing just fine.
Just so you were straight on it, the phone is connected now. It's over there. I could rearrange some furniture, pull it around here, and possibly.
Possibly it might work.
Possibly.
And in that new studio we're going to have when you move down the street, I mean, God only knows what you're going to be limited to in there.
God only knows.
Yeah. Because they're cutting back and smaller. And I think they're going to make that lawyer's words come true. Oh, if Neil has to do the show from a telephone booth, so be it. We're paying him a lot of gelt. What was his name?
Alan Fertel.
Alan Fertel. The Jew from hell. He was pathetic. He was just, although I'll tell you one thing, he was great compared to what we got now. Now we got Joyce. Papajenko, look what I got.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Mom made a little dinner. It's Sunday. Mom made a little dinner. Chicken cacciatore she was making.
They were so mean to him.
I beg your pardon?
Tom Hagen.
Yeah. Papajenko, look what I got. And then when Michael put him in charge after the attempt on Michael's life, and Tom Hagen tells Rocco, fish him out. And Rocco says, where's Mike? And he says, Rocco.
Right.
Rocco, he was good, Tom Hagen. That's because it's Robert Duvall. He's good in everything.
Yep.
One of the 10 greatest actors of all time. Is there any doubt about that? No.
I won't argue.
Here's one that says we need to know. Oh, by the way, the meeting is underway. The Dade County, it started at 1 o'clock. That'll go on for hours. We need a new stadium for what? Nobody goes to the Marlin games. Nobody's got any money. Plus, the ticket price will be a lot higher than they are now. For a third-rate team, I don't think so. If they had chicken fights, that'll attract more people. God help us, says Tony. You're right, Tony. You're right. But Dade County's going to take it where they always take it.
Rectum.
Deep in there. And, oh, Neil, if you were just here, you'd love everything that's going on. Yeah.
M-O-N-D-A-Y-S-U-C-K-S.
The stimulus package Obama says we need is nothing more than pork and more political greed. Saving banks that sank from their bad policy. There's more than 50 ways to waste our money. More than 50 ways to waste our money. Here's billions for sex ed, 50 million to fund art, cash for green technology. Sounds bogus to me. 1 billion
131 at 560 WQAM. So the question of the century is, who shot Mo Greene? Maybe we'll never know.
Right.
Here's a really brilliant one. It says, hi, Neil and George. Instead of being a chronic, I would rather be a programming director. Here's how to save QAM. 6 to 10 a.m. George, 10 to 2 Neil, and 2 to 6 Randy Rhodes. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Ron from Boca. P.S. Does WFTL's call letter stand for Fascist Talk Leader? Just wondering. Just wondering. Oh, yeah. How sad, Ron. Very sad. Jack says, I like when you call turbans headgear. No, headgear isn't just turbans. It's like yarmulkes and all the headgear. The world is a battle of headgear.
All of these things.
Catholics with their beanies. Jews have got their beanies. Yeah. And then those kosher weenies. So here's Stephen Alexander, who I'm sure is John ZTR. Rebuttal South Florida. See, here's how you tell John ZTR's characters. They're all ridiculously over the top.
Yeah. That's funny because he sent an email telling people how to write the fake ones and said, don't be over the top.
Yeah, but he always is. All the ones he wrote before about how can we register our complaints if you don't take any calls. Don't you remember those?
Yep.
All just asinine ridiculous on the face of them. Well, so Fake Steven says, why can't you give South Florida a chance? You're the only one who says Florida sucks while everybody loves it. See, did you smell John ZTR in that?
Yes.
I'm the only one who says Florida sucks. Doesn't that make you question if you're not wrong? Millions can't be wrong. And about fishing, you said it sucks. It doesn't. I suppose it's better to gamble and hope you win a lot of money. This is a pattern with you. At work, for example, you just sit there putting in no effort and expect to be paid. Oh, I do get paid. Big money. I just know this, that I don't know who you aren't ashamed practically begging listeners to send, or why you aren't ashamed practically begging listeners to send emails every day. Maybe you actually fear having to do work. I guess you can't expect someone to change their views after such a long time. No, I'm going to change my views just to agree with you. That's John ZTR. Guaranteed. Bet your life on it. All ridiculous, all over the top, all just outrageous. All geared for the same response. But a good one. Marisa says, here's another shot at me. Some days they're all taking shots at you. Today it's me.
They spread it around.
Marisa says, when is your next vacation? When will George be on again? And to Neil. Well, who was the first part to?
I guess to me.
No.
Via you.
Any ice cream is good. Who said you're the ultimate authority on ice cream? I don't know. I never said it. No. You were like a kid in the neighborhood who used to make fun of anyone who bought the Value Line 7-gallon buckets. The Value Line 7-gallon bucket? Did you ever hear such a thing?
No, it sounds a little dated. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Marisa. Neither does anybody else, and neither do you. But have a wonderful life. Have a nice day. Carney says, what the hell is wrong with these people? I can't believe the world has made it this far, man. Listeners, Neil and George offer a point of view that is friggin' entertainment. Great entertainment, nothing more. A format that people like David Letterman and others with shows copy and admire. That's right, Letterman copies this show, you bet. Only difference is other shows don't let us participate. So why the hate, people? Stop wasting time bickering and sniveling about the bad in these emails. It's the same hate-ass point of view you have in your regular lives. It's the same thing that makes your lives miserable. Don't you hear George sighing into the microphone? Come up with something clever. Share a joke or recipe. A recipe or a joke. Oh, my God, Carney. Be inspired and motivating. Go ahead. Give it a try. The world could sure use it at this point.
Go ahead.
Eat your apricot seeds, bitches, says Carney. Boy, talk about bitter. Hostile
Are
and bitter.
apricot seeds bitter?
Wow. Rudy says, I always find it funny when Muslims get offended by comments that you make in regard to their race. Muslims are possibly the people on this globe with the driest sense of humor. Why should we even bother to understand them, as they in their Quran states that we are all infidels? What Muslims and other fanatics seem to realize, not to realize, is that religion is the one thing through our history to bring the most amount of hate and responsible for the most amount of death. I think we all a little bit of hatred in us, so in essence we all are a little racist. Having said that, have you ever heard a Muslim leader speak openly against terrorism? Have you ever seen a Muslim make an effort to have any other person of a different race or religion understand their beliefs? The million-dollar question, is it true that not every Muslim is a terrorist? But what I've seen by so far, Every terrorist is a Muslim, says Rudy. Yes, that's an ugly rag they walk around with. How do you like that? Rudy says every terrorist is a Muslim.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case, but nevertheless.
No. Well, that's what Rudy says.
And yeah, I have
every
heard a lot
terrorist. How about the Tamil Tigers? Are they Muslims?
Right. I have heard a lot of Muslim leaders speak out.
Yeah, well, Rudy's a bigot and he doesn't want to admit it, you know. He is what the other fake emailer was accusing me of being. I would like nice Muslims if I ever met any. And I'm sure maybe right in this building there might be some. Maybe there's some very hot young Muslims in the building who'd like to become friendly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I see like at Woodbine, I see... Huh?
Do a search.
Search of what?
Muslims.
No thanks. Oh, the fake Steve Rondinero is back. Oh, this is hysterical. See, I'm going backward. This is I get to the bottom of the pile, and these are the ones that came in first.
Well, you should put the fresh ones underneath.
Well, I don't. Well, what difference does it make?
None.
This baby crap about if I don't read it right away. I noticed that the fake Steven there, John ZTR, didn't even. This is another tip-off. Anybody would have said, apologize for bitching about not reading it because I didn't get to it right away. If you don't get to it right away, they send it a second time and a third time, which means either I'm going to read it later on or I'm not going to read it at all. How do you like that? You can send it 100 times. Go right ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And maybe I will and maybe I won't. That's the beauty of the emails as opposed to, I'm your friend. And isn't it amazing? We're going to get through yet another day. It's 1:38 already. I got plenty of crap here. We're going to get through yet another day without any of those awful calls. Bob in Cape Coral, please send your home address so we can personally, physically thank you for complaining that Neil is too political on his show. Oh, this is to Bob in Cape Coral. Apparently, it's not enough the right-wing corporate media controls what Americans can read, watch, and hear. Now you want to shut down Neil as well. Okay, just relax. He's a goofball in Cape Coral. What do you expect? There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. Here's one that says, go ahead. Matthews renews contact at MSNBC. The deal is for at least 4 years. Financial terms were not disclosed, and neither side would confirm whether MSNBC had won a reduction in salary from the host, as had been reported to be seeking. Previous reports put his annual salary at about $5 million. Oh, my God. The audiences for Hardball are growing. In February, Mr. Matthews added viewers from the same month in the election year to 616,000 from 531 for his 5 p.m. show, and to 871,000 from 699 for the repeat at 7. How is this possible, asks GB, stunned in Boca. That comes out to over $5 per viewer. Well, whatever it comes out to. He's raking in the big bucks because he talks politics. Here's one. Would George leave you to host 790 in the morning if given the opportunity? And if yes, would you consider it a betrayal? Yeah, George is going to do a morning show on 790. Aren't you?
Yeah, starting tomorrow.
Oh, John ZTR says, I guarantee I'm not that fake guy you just read on the air. Teresa Clark was a fake, but was subtle, and you never suspected it. I don't make them outrageous anymore, says John ZTR.
Stop picking on my good friend,
Oh,
John ZTR.
And here's Teresa Clark. Yeah. That's my comment on all this.
Floridians, dumb as dirt.
You know, retirement just wasn't my style, so I began working nights down here as a janitor in this old office building. Yeah, just to keep busy, I guess, because it pays below minimum wage. But anyway, oh, hey, there's the big cheese now. Big, how you doing tonight? Hey, working kind of late, aren't you?
How you doing? Yeah, having a pretty tough night.
Yeah, well, good night.
Night.
Yeah, you gonna watch the game tonight?
Yeah, I'm headed across the street. Free pizza at beer night over there. I've had a pretty tough day. I thought I'd just watch the game with the fellas over at the bar.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm just going to listen to it on this old radio here. The antenna's kind of shaky.
I'm looking at a big screen color TV over there. It's the best picture I've ever seen. Yeah, big screen color. Great picture.
I heard it is. Well, I'd sure like to be there. Well, you know, I got all my work done. And
oh, really? You're all done?
Yeah, do you suppose maybe I could...
Well, I'll tell you what.
Maybe I could...
I got my BMW in the garage. I got a Blaputnik radio in there. I can pick up the...
You can drive me?
Anything. No. Tell you what, I'll give you my car keys. Why don't you clean out my car? I got a wicked stain in the back seat. Yeah, I've got some stuff in the trunk and clean it up with. Simonize it. I'll be back in about 2 hours, and maybe I'll bring you a piece of pizza. Okay, Dad? Well, Dad, listen, thanks a lot. Here are my keys, and be careful not to scratch the car, and I'll be back in about 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah, I gotta watch.
You're not going to bring... Well, you ungrateful... Esther said you were a worthless second son of a... Hell, you can't be my son. Nobody's that ungrateful. You breath... I'll take your and stang BMW and run that mother right into the damn river, you worthless
Nothing
son
gets
of a
someone's attention like a good string of profanities.
Pig-faced.
This message brought to you by the National Cursing Foundation. And remember our motto, go yourself.
146, 1402 at 560 WQAM. How did we make it all the way through with no calls today? Wow.
I don't know.
Again.
Well, we spent the first half of the show bickering like an old married couple. That helps.
So Teresa says, and of course, isn't it interesting that John ZTR just admitted fessed up for the second time to being Teresa, which we now know. Oh, my Neil, please help me if you can. I turned off my radio. I'm having trouble finding your station again. I tuned in and heard only static. In my old age, I forget the station number. Please help. If you or your sidekick can't help me, I'll call 911 and see if they can send an officer down here to help me out. Thank you so much, Neil, and please play more Canadian music. It's what this old heart needs. Yeah. Pretty weak, John ZTR. Very weak. Ain't it weak?
Yeah.
And transparently fake. Barbara in Sunrise, who's for real, says, I looked in the book, The Godfather. According to the book, Mo Greene was killed by Al Neary. I think Al is the same guy that kills Fredo. Have a good one, guys, says Barbara in Sunrise. Well, thanks, Barbara, but we already knew that Al Neary killed him in the book, but not in the movie.
Right.
Because in the movie, Al Neary kills Barzini, and since this was all happening simultaneously while the baptism was going on, he couldn't have been in two places at the same time.
That's correct.
But Al Neary did kill Fredo. He went fishing with Fredo. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, I guess we'll never find out who killed Mo Greene. I'm going to have to watch it again, I guess. I don't know why, because we've already had it confirmed. You don't see the person. You just see somebody approaching.
Maybe you'll recognize the back of his head or his ear or his
that might
profile
be
or
it.
something.
Maybe it was that bodyguard, that real creepy bodyguard that Michael had.
Right.
In Havana. He didn't do too good, the bodyguard. He got like... The pillow didn't do too good blocking the shots.
No, it didn't soak up the bullets.
And then the same thing with the assassin, the guy that shot Hyman Roth.
Right.
Like he thought he was going to get away. I mean, what was that, a suicide mission or what?
I guess so. See, it ain't just the Muslims that do suicide attacks.
Oh, the fake Steve Rondinero, by the way, is Mr. Radio. You want to know how I know?
Okay.
This came in earlier today. Good morning, Neil. I want to let you know about a compelling story I'm going to be covering in Toronto. Do you know anybody else in the human race who uses the word compelling besides Mr. Radio?
No.
No.
Just us when we make fun of him.
I'll be traveling up to Toronto to cover our local under-18 boys ice hockey team. They're playing in a tournament. Anyways, what I'm excited about is a seminar hosted by Don Cherry. He'll be talking hockey. Oh, what a surprise. Also on the panel are some former Maple Leaf players, Mark Osborne, Bill Berg, Wendell Clark, and Dave Ellett. I was wondering if you'd like to accompany me on this seminar. Could use your help with your vast hockey knowledge. The seminar takes place April 3rd. Sorry, I'm busy April 3rd, or any other day. Perhaps you can recommend a nice steakhouse your fair city has to offer. No, I can't. And in closing, Bob Soper is hoping you can make it to the reunion picnic April 18th. Signed, Steve Rondinero. No can do, fake Steve. That's Mr. Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Who brings up all these people from the distant past that nobody remembers, nobody cares about. That's Mr. Radio. In other words...
I have no line.
Oh. And here's the fake Tom Jick. Remember I was asking Friday about Paul Lyle, who he was, and...
Right.
Out of sight,
Neither
out of
one
mind.
of us knew the name, could not remember who he was.
Well, the fake Tom Jick says, you asked who was Paul Lyle. Paul Lyle was known as the nice guy in South Florida. He did middays at WIOD before you were hired. After that, he worked at 1400 WFTL, The Light Bulb, with Bob Gordon, Mike Roberts, Alice Rantel, G. Michael McKay, Craig Worthing, Alice Knight, and Jeff Allen Wolfe. This was before the Steve Kane days. He then became president of the Talk America Radio Networks and was GM at Route 81 Radio in Corning, New York. Wow. Did he make it big or what? Now, wait till you what he's doing now.
All right.
Paul is now president of the National Association of Radio Talk Show Hosts and is heard on WGSM Radio in Melville, New York. Even I never heard of Melville, New York.
No.
You want to Google it?
Okay.
Where the hell is it? How many people live there?
About 30, man.
Melville, New York. Woo! And last but not least, this came in this morning. From Sean in Hollywood. Paul Sean?
Yes.
Dear Uncle Neil, I'm officially turning in my mouse pad. I no longer have meaningful material to offer the Neil Rogers Show. After that guy's rant about Mega Mom and the premies of disaster a few weeks ago, my material crumbles to dust. I have an important meeting tomorrow. I pray to Christ that his remarks about crotch fruit and clown car will not jump into my memory right in the middle of my pitch to the committee. By the way, I always thought the hottest thing about Jessica Biel was her incredible sexy overbite. Glamorous actresses rarely have the best butts. These are usually reserved for soap stars, Hooters girls, and the girls on the Bowflex commercials. But my friend and godson were watching I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry the other night. Now, normally I'd rather see my own obituary than an Adam Sandler movie. Oh! But as I walked by the TV, there was Jessica Biel in her bra and panties in a great pose. Jesus H. Christ on rubber crutches. Harassed would make Dr. Fine-Tush say, how'd they do that? Fine-Tush. It was with a Herculean effort I resisted the urge to engage in a frenzied act of self-pollution on the spot. Now I know what the credits mean by key grip. I would walk from here to Culver City Studios in Jessica Biel's bra and panties just to get a glimpse of Jessica Biel in her bra and panties, says Sean. I'm officially turning in my mouse pad. Now, is he funning us or what?
I don't know.
Oh, here's one. Ask George if he knows what was in the briefcase in the movie Pulp Fiction. That's original. You know,
sorry, I didn't mean to sigh like that. You're not supposed to know.
It was fries with mayonnaise.
Right.
Oh. Talk about a state of mind.
Yeah.
That movie. Although you like it, don't you?
I like parts of it. We had that conversation. There's some scenes I like, some scenes that make me double over in agony and want to puke in my shoes.
Oh, here we go. Here's the answer to the question, who killed Mo Greene? Somebody says it was the Big O.
I'm laughing on the inside. I'm saving that one for later.
Yeah, okay. Whatever happened to Air America, Tom Jicka sends? Oh, I'll save that for tomorrow. Believe me, there's no urgency with that. Here's one. I've won $80 trillion in the Nigerian lottery. Here's one that says, thought you'd like to see this on VanityFair.com. Click here to see the link. And click. I did click. I deleted it right away. Let me ask you again for the last time. What part of don't send me links or attachments don't you understand?
O'Neill. It's Dave in Miami town. 560 WQAM.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rambo 4 and 5. How are you? John Rambo's still alive. I want to make movies 4 and 5. My life ain't going great. Planet Hollywood's broke. Unfortunately, I speak like I had a stroke. First blood came in 82. That's when I hurt my penis and it never ever grew. Rambo 2 was in 85 late. Rambo 3 was in 88. Shooting and looting and tooting my gun. I did not make this movie with my son. His name is Sage. He was in Rocky 5 and Daylight, the tunnel movie. A little bit of cash is what I need. I gotta get a loan from Apollo Creed. I gotta have another hit movie or a Broadway show like Dennehy. I guess nobody ever saw Copland. It was stupid. I guess I understand. My whole life is about to cave in. All I got left is Jennifer Flavin. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to make Rambo 4 and 5. Check it out. So call me up. I really need a script. I can do dialogue or keep it zipped. I like comedy, action, adventure, and drama. The only thing I will not do is have sex with a llama. So give me a break, for goodness sake. I used to be on Oprah. Now I can't get on Ricky Lake. Right now I got a one-man show in Poughkeepsie. Basically, I'm an unemployed gypsy. A little bit of cash is what I need. I gotta get a loan from Apollo Creed. I gotta have another hit movie or a Broadway show like Dennehy. I guess nobody ever saw Copland. It was stupid, so I understand. My whole life's about to cave in. All I got left is Jennifer Flavin. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I need to make